for shooting their parents in 1989.
Prosecutors argued at the time that they were after the parents' multi-million-dollar estate. But the brothers' legal team say the two, ages 18 and 21 at the time, acted in self-defense after years of emotional and physical abuse by their parents, including sexual molestation by their father over several years.
Fox's William Lachenasse, a newly recovered letter corroborating their story.
It's a letter that Eric wrote to his cousin a year prior to the murder, saying, quote, "I have been trying to avoid Dad. It's still happening, but it's worse for me now. I never know when it's going to happen, and it's driving me crazy. Every night I stay up thinking he might come in."
Family members have now publicly called for their release. The LA County DA has a news conference planned next hour. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Indiana could use the rain. Mostly sunny, 61 degrees downtown. You got a clear radar, low of 50 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. If it's rain you've been wanting, it's rain that you might get soon.
We're expecting some showers and even maybe some thunderstorms to develop late tonight into tomorrow morning across eastern Illinois, northern Indiana, and then move into areas north of I-70 early tomorrow morning.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says most places in central and northern Indiana will likely get no more than a quarter of an inch of rain. Could use some more. Most of the state dealing with a drought. Attorney General Todd Rokita is threatening to sue the South Bend and Seymour police departments. Kurt Darling tells you why.
Rokita is demanding both give his office information to determine if their immigration policies line up with state law, which bans sanctuary cities. A spokesperson for the city of South Bend says that they follow all federal and state laws and will cooperate fully. Rokita's Democratic opponent in the election, Destiny Wells, calls the threat nothing more than a desperate and politically motivated distraction. Kurt Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Kathy Shank gave testimony in the Delphi murders trial today. She was a volunteer who helped with administrative duties, including file management, and also handled about 14,000 tips in the case. Shank says that Richard Allen's file had previously been labeled as Richard Allen Whiteman, a mistake there at the end. The file was also labeled as cleared. Allen's the man accused of killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Today's the 6th day of that murder trial. It's a great time for some spooky fun as Ryan Hedrick reports one of Indiana's most haunted cities.
Richmond's rich history, old buildings, and 37 ghost sightings make it one of Indiana's spookiest cities, says Penn State's Mayor Ron Oler even thinks his own office might be haunted.
If you talk to my assistant Rachel, she will swear that the door to the mayor's office is haunted, possessed.
The mayor says some of those ghost sightings are just part of Richmond's charm.
I welcome people to come through the city, go through downtown, go through Main Street, travel along Highway 40, walk along the sidewalk with your meters and look at some of these old houses.
Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
If we are truly the racing capital of the world, we want our audience to be more reflective of the world around us. And Radio 1 has been a great partner in helping us do that.
How can a partnership with WIBC serve your business?
I'm Michael Colton-Mark, Senior Director of Marketing for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and proud partner and client of Radio 1.
Diversity.
Radio 1's diverse reach not only allows us to get our message in front of a diverse audience, but then also gets those folks interested as we look to invite more diverse audiences to the track to join us, to let them know that the Speedway is open to them and that they're welcome there. And they've been a strategic partner in helping us achieve that goal.
Deliver your message to the audience that matters.
We've been able to attract an even larger audience and fill the Speedway with more people because of our partnership with Radio 1.
Text business to 71007 to take your advertising to the next level.
Radio 1's right there with us in the trenches.
Get results with WIBC.
Traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Baer.
Good afternoon, Harrison. Westbound 70 East Side crashed before Rural Street. It's also a vehicle fire blocking the right lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to Sherman Drive. This is northbound 65 coming out of downtown. We have a stall on the exit ramp to 21st Street. Ramp is open. It's partially blocked. Eastbound 70 stop-and-go from Belmont to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by BJ's Wholesale Club. BJ's Wholesale Club is opening November 1st in Carmel. At BJ's, members get up to 25% off grocery store prices every day. Visit bjs.com/Carmel. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
It looks like we're mostly dry as we move into Thursday evening. A few passing clouds, temperatures dropping into the upper 40s and a breeze out of the southeast. We'll keep an eye, however, for some showers, which will return on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
Hey, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here from WIBC.com. The Delphi case. This is, I believe, day 7.
6.
Hammer is it day 6. Richard Allen, the man currently standing trial for the deaths of the Delphi teenagers, Abigail and Liberty, was interviewed by investigators within 1 week of the murders, but that interview was originally labeled cleared. A lot of testimony today from 2 different witnesses, sort of convoluted. We'll do our best to break it down for you.
So the first witness was Kathy Shank, a retired DCS worker who had volunteered to help with admin duties like filing and database stuff.
Labeling, yeah.
She was the one that discovered a folder titled Richard Allen Whiteman. Now, it was labeled Richard Allen Whiteman by mistake. Whiteman, I guess, is the name of the street that he had lived on, but it was also marked cleared, and they weren't really sure why. So she was the one that brought this to the investigators and said, hey, this is cleared, but it's also labeled wrong. What's going on here? So that was a big part of today. Also, the state called Captain Dan Dolan with the Indiana Department of Natural Resources to the stand. He was tasked with helping the investigators track down leads in the Delphi murder case. He met with Richard Allen on February 18th, 2017, just a few days after the murder. Allen had contacted investigators to self-report that he had been on the Monon that day when the girls disappeared, but he didn't do anything wrong. That's where he confirmed that he did live on Whiteman Drive. Allen told Doolin that he was in the area of the Monon High Bridge between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. on that day that the girls disappeared. Now, over the course of the conversation, Allen then changed the timeline by about 30 minutes. He said he was there from 1:30 to 3:30.
He also said he wasn't really paying attention to anything. Said he saw the 3 girls, but he was paying more attention, more focused on the stock ticker on his phone. And he also confirmed that he parked near the Hoosier Hardware store.
And the phone that Richard Allen had during that time, it can't be found. It's, somewhere missing, along with a lot of things in this trial. So the former Delphi police chief and the current investigator for Carroll County Prosecutor's Office, Steve Mullen, he testified today that he was called by the sheriff on November 21st, 2022, about the Doolin report on Richard Allen. So they looked at some video surveillance of the area near the Monon and a vehicle that came by. And it appeared to be a black Ford Focus. So the Carroll County prosecutor's worker did the video work, checked out the video from Hoosier Harvest store to see if he could find Richard Allen's vehicle. Then they went to CVS where Allen worked. They took a picture of his license plate, and they testified today that it matched up to what they were looking for near the Monon. Now, they did point out that there were some specific features that led them to Allen's vehicle because they couldn't get the exact license plate number, and maybe that's something the defense is going to fight back on. But they said there were a number of very specific ways to identify Allen's vehicle, and they used that in court today.
So it sounds like, and again, kind of convoluted. We're getting into the weeds here a little bit, but the more I read into what happened today on WIBC.com, the more I'm thinking that this was a decent day for the prosecution in terms of witness testimony. Here's what happened. Here's where the suspect was. Here's what he said. Something about he changed the height on his fishing license. He changed his own height, which was unusual. So again, reading without trying to get into the weeds into all this stuff, it looks like this may have been a better day for the prosecution than the previous 5.
Right. Now, the bar had been set pretty low for the prosecution because the first 5 days were not great at all. But also, Captain Dan Doolin, his report, also working with the Carroll County folks, they said at one point they were interviewing Richard Allen, and they're kind of interrogating him, and they're grilling him a little bit. He got angry and frustrated and walked out of the interview.
Well, I think they showed him the picture of Bridge Guy.
Yes.
I think they showed that to him and said, hey, check this out. And that's when he got up and walked out.
So that is what's happened so far. Now, again, coming up at 5:06, Donnie Burgess and Guy Relford, they've been doing great work. They're going to have the latest once they reconvene from lunch. You know, they've got a couple hours of testimony. Donnie will have the latest, and Guy Relford will give his perspective from a defense attorney. So those guys have been doing amazing work. So please come back here at 5:06. Nige, tonight you got a good old-fashioned Indiana gubernatorial debate.
Woo!
Cancel your plans.
Yeah!
Tell the wife we're staying home.
Hoorah!
Because when Mike Braun, Jennifer McCormick, and Donald Rainwater get together, it's sheer energy.
Really not very contentious. I mean, this, like, honestly, it goes back to where you used to tell your kids when they would watch debates between Joe Biden and Donald Trump or Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. You have to tell your kids, these aren't normally the way these debates go.
Right. There's not normally a roast of Rosie O'Donnell.
Right. There's no Rosie O'Donnell mentions or references. It's maybe a little more couth than what you're seeing here.
Our pal, Dr. Laura Wilson from University of Indianapolis, she's going to be the moderator tonight. And the questions, a lot of them were submitted from Indiana voters throughout the state on this debate website or something. But we had Dr. Wilson on our show a couple weeks ago talking about this specific debate, the one that she was going to be the moderator of. And we asked her, are you going to be somebody that fact checks in real time? Do you inject yourself into the debate? How are you going to moderate this debate?
As the moderator, I get to serve as that person representing the voters. So my primary focus is to ask these questions and get real, honest, reflective responses from the candidates that hopefully help engage and inform the voters. And to the fact-checking part, that is really hard. And I know there are different opinions on it. I will share from my experience moderating that it's very difficult to both live fact-check and to be unbiased, making sure that you're fact-checking everybody. When do you call something that is blatantly false versus slightly untrue? Trying to do that off the top of your head when sometimes I don't know everything there is to know about politics. I may not recall something. And it's hard to look that up and keep track of time and prepare for the next question and make sure that there's time for rebuttals. There's a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
So I would say I think fact-checking is important, but I also do believe that's a part of the other candidates' responsibility. If a moderator does a good job, nobody thinks or notices.
I mean, how much egg is on a guy like David Muir's face from ABC, who moderated the debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris? I mean, that, like, when Donald Trump, was it Kamala Harris or was it?
It was Kamala Harris, yeah.
Was it Kamala Harris? I mean, like, when Donald Trump said, yeah, the crime's going up in this country, David Muir, without even thinking about it, said, no, the stats say crime has gone down in this country. How much egg is on his face now that the FBI has done revisions on those crime stats and violent crime stats are actually up? That's what you get, Muir, for trying to play favorites. You don't fact check. You let your opponent do the fact checking.
But these people are activists and they can't help themselves. Like those awful witches that did the CBS debate, the vice presidential debate. Now, J.D. Vance, he put a kibosh to that pretty early in that debate. Yeah. They fact checked him once. He kind of let it go. They tried to pull some bull crap on him. And that's when he brought the truth hammer down. And for the most part, they knocked that crap off afterwards. So if that debate tonight isn't enough to crack one open, Nige, how about this for your reason to drink this evening? 54 years ago today,
Yes.
on this date in 1970, President Richard Nixon asked record companies to reduce the number of songs about sex and drugs.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
And to this day, it's held up.
Yeah, I mean, you even go back to like Tipper Gore requesting companies put the, what was the bad? I mean, it was like
Parental advisory.
Yeah, parental advisory.
Yes.
It's like a badge of honor. That's made people want to buy those more.
Like, nobody would have cared about the 2 Live Crew, but now that Tipper Gore and the politicians were against them, everybody wanted the tape,
Did
the
them a
cassette tape.
favor.
Right. So here's what we're going to do. I've got a 7-song montage about songs featuring sexual activity. How many of these songs has Allison heard of? Because I think most of these are before her time. Maybe 1 or 2 are in her wheelhouse, but I think most of these are before her time. The over-under is set at 5.5, Nige.
Okay.
7 songs, 5.5 is the over-under.
I'll do over.
So you think I'll know more than 5.5?
Yes. I think, yes, I do.
7.
And Allison, honor system.
You don't have to name them. Just say, yeah, I've heard of that before.
Okay. 7 songs about sex. Here we go.
Yes. Rihanna, of course.
Little Rihanna.
I've never heard of this one.
Stop. Yes, you have.
No, huh?
Come on. Let's talk about sex. Yeah.
Salt and Pepper. 2 for 2.
Yes.
Get your lighters up. Boys to Men are singing.
Oh, Boys to Men.
3 for 3.
Got 3 more, right?
Feels like the first time. Yes.
We got a white man overbite from Nige here.
And a rock and roll sign.
All y'all girlies next to me, talking sex to me. We can't
No.
This one's tough.
Wait a minute, wait.
Chill. Candyman, tell them the truth. We'll still end up knocking
Here you
the
go.
boots.
I love you so. No.
The Candyman, knocking boots.
No.
Early 90s. There's one miss.
Yes.
Color Me Bad. All right. One more.
Come on, Allison.
Yes.
Yeah! Cast that over, baby.
Wow. Okay, so what happens here?
So, Nige, your choice. You can either take this Fireball Blazing Apple Mini, or you can pass it to somebody in the room.
Pass it to my friend Jason Hammer for
All right.
putting this together. I'll give it to you. It's the okay, let me tell you something. Full disclosure, I've had Fireball Apple before. I'll stick with the cinnamon. Let's just say that.
Okay. Not your favorite?
Wasn't my favorite, but what do you
Too
think?
appley? What? What's wrong with it?
To me,
Do you want to take it, Allison?
Yeah, why don't you take
No,
it?
I want you to say it, and then if it's good, then I'll take one later.
Okay. We'll check
You
in with
have more
Matt
than
Bear
one?
right now. What's up, Matt?
What's up? Hammer westbound 70 East Side. Crash before Rural Street. That's blocking the right lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to Emerson Avenue. Southbound 65 still closed at west. Will be for the rest of the month. Eastbound 70 slow from Tibbs into the south split south side. Eastbound 465 slow from I-70 over to I-65. North side westbound 465 stop and go from Michigan Road over to 865. Traffic sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Okay, here we go, Nige. This is the Fireball Blazing Apple.
Yeah. And that's warm, too. Ooh. Eesh.
Not my favorite.
Yeah.
Cinnamon is better.
Kind of NyQuil-ish.
But I do like NyQuil.
You do?
You guys know me.
You love a good nightcap, and I'm not talking about like Blanton's. you love a good sip of NyQuil before you hit the sheet.
And by sip, chug, whatever you want to say,
All
yeah.
right.
63 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Leaves turn golden and the air grows crisp. There's something special brewing, something that captures the very essence of fall. Introducing Pumpkin Something, a smooth, spice-filled bourbon infused with the perfect mixture of allspice, pumpkin, clove, cinnamon, and ginger. It's the taste of autumn in a glass. A sip of warmth on a cool evening. Crafted with care and precision at Hotel Tango Distillery. Known for its commitment to quality and innovation, this new blend promises a unique tasting experience that celebrates the essence of fall. Pumpkin Something from Hotel Tango Distillery is guaranteed to elevate any fall cocktail. Add it to your warm cider in the evening or to your fall lattes. You can do anything with Pumpkin Something from Hotel Tango Distillery. Available for a limited time only. Visit your local liquor store and bring home the taste of fall with Pumpkin Something from Hotel Tango Distillery, because autumn never tasted so good. Sip responsibly.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
Jennifer McCormick couldn't name a single thing she disagreed with Hillary Clinton on. That's because, just like Hillary, McCormick backed failed liberal policies. She endorsed Bidenomics, said she'd be honored to serve in Biden's administration. She opposed school choice, and she even supports biological boys playing girls' sports.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
I did vote for Hillary Clinton. She had some great, world foreign policy experience. So, I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
It gets worse. Here's what Jennifer McCormick says about Donald Trump.
I cannot get behind that. Never voted for Trump, never will vote for Trump, never was behind Trump, never will be behind Trump. I just cannot get behind a party who is behind that type of leadership. To me, it's nonsensical.
Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, don't take your eyes off the road. Just listen. What you hear right now, your customers hear it too. Get your message heard. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Hendricks County.
Pumpkins, candy, costumes, Halloween stuff.
A car wash chain in the Northeast is offering pumpkin spice washes for your vehicle. And it's going to help raise money for like an organization, charity that provides meals to those in need. Are you okay with a pumpkin spice car wash?
Do I have to get the pumpkin spice, or is this like an add-on? An option.
You probably requested.
Okay, because I don't want to just have pumpkin spice dumped on my car.
No.
I don't like it that much, right? Plus, when I go to get my car washed, I want it to smell like a new car, right? I don't want it to smell like a 23-year-old chick wearing Uggs.
They do that at Prime Car Wash. We take our car there sometimes. And you have the choice. Like, you get your car washed, and they clean it out for you, and they do, like, the interior. And one of the choices is, do you want the new car wash, leather smell, vanilla?
Right.
I always do the new car smell.
Me too. I'm a new car smell
guy.
But
I'm not doing pumpkin spice. I don't need that.
But 'tis the season, man.
Well,
and
sure, yeah.
One of the best products that Hammer and Nigel Products has ever put out was our very popular, it's now sold out.
Yeah.
Pumpkin spice butt lotion.
You've seen the phenomenon of pumpkin spice and the droves of hot suburban women who flock to order it. Fellas, if you're looking to meet more women but hate the taste of pumpkin spice, Hammer and Nigel Products have something for you. Hammer and Nigel's Pumpkin Spice Butt Lotion. Pumpkin Spice Butt Lotion is made of bits of real pumpkin, so you know it's good.
Of course.
Just apply a small dab to your bare butt cheeks, then wait for all the hot chicks in your office to take notice. Like this.
Ooh, who's that? That's Kenny from Logistics. His butt smells like pumpkin spice.
I guess we won't be needing these pants anymore.
It's just that easy. Pumpkin Spice Butt Lotion should be used in moderation. Side effects include the desire to wear Uggs, sleeveless winter vests, and yoga pants. Hammer and Nigel's Pumpkin Spice Butt Lotion. Available wherever Hammer and Nigel products are sold.
Not anymore. Sold out.
Sold out. Go back to the car wash for a second, because this would be a situation that I would have to deal with. So I normally get new car smell. But let's just say one day I get a hair up my backside and I decide to get the pumpkin spice smell. I'm going to come home. My wife's going to get in the car. Oh, I see what's going on here. Oh. Who's the 20-year-old bitch you got in this car? No, you don't understand. It's just the pumpkin spice. Oh, you hate pumpkin spice. Don't lie to me.
If that's the case, don't get cotton candy either.
Yeah, I can't do the pumpkin spice. I don't like the lattes. A candle once in a while I'm all right with. Allison, are you one of these basic broads that love the pumpkin spice?
You know what? I am not. I think it's been overdone. I think I'm a little worn out. But I do like the overall pumpkin, just like taste and like smell.
I like pumpkin pie, but
pumpkin
I'm fat.
Pumpkin pie's good, yeah.
Yes. The thing with pumpkin pie, though, is that, yes, it tastes good, but it also has to have like an embarrassing amount of Cool Whip on top of it.
At least half a tub.
Absolutely.
Right. Like the ratio of Cool Whip to pie is completely off the rails.
Right.
And it has to be Cool Whip, not Ready Whip.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
I'm with you 100%. Or as Stewie and Family Guy would say, Cool Whip. Whip. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in, turned my concrete garage floor into something brand new and beautiful and glossy, and it is 4 times as strong than it was previously. My old garage floor was just so gross and cracked and unmaintained and old. Galaxy Concrete Garage Coatings came in as little as a day and turned my garage floor into something out of this world. Now I want them to come in and do my basement, my furnace room down in my basement could be turned into something awesome as well. And they can do your garage, basement, pool deck, or any indoor, outdoor area concrete. They don't use epoxy. They use something called polyurea, which is the premium standard for any types of these concrete coatings. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or 751-9070.
If you are a single or widowed woman, well, the statistics aren't very pretty. You run into a far greater risk of running out of money in retirement than any man or married couple. Hello there, it's Terry Stacy, and the last thing you want to be is 80 years old, full of life, and flat broke. Discover the strategies that could ensure you never run out of money in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy right here in Indy. I know Bill and I trust Bill, and I'm so thankful that he was able to help my mom too. I don't put my name on any random Joe, but I'm here to say you can count on Bill Demery. Call Bill at 317-349-5212. That's 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212. Call Bill right now.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi,
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give Family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves, but don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
When you might get some rain, 61 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Currently no rain to worry about when you check the radar. You'll have a low of about 50 degrees tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:32. Rain is possible for some parts of the state soon.
There's potential, depending on how strong these thunderstorms do get, for some heavy rain early tomorrow morning, but this should stay within the Lafayette to Kokomo on north area.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says any rain that falls Friday is supposed to clear up by the evening, so it won't last too long. Crime scene tape and homicide detectives, that's what some people saw in the neighborhood today. Here's Ryan Hedrick.
The neighborhood is located in Speedway, just off of West 10th Street along North Norfolk Street, and it seems quiet as you turn into it. There's neighborhood watch signs all over, but early Thursday morning, police were called out because someone heard several gunshots. When police got there, they found a man who had been shot several times through a passenger window. The Marion County Coroner's Office says the victim is 28 years old. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Vice President Kamala Harris says she wants to strengthen the country's border security if elected this November.
I will tell you that my highest priority is to put the resources into ensuring that our border is secure, which is why I've been very clear. I'm going to bring back up, as president, that bipartisan border security bill.
Harris is in Philly today, saying she would again propose that bipartisan border bill, which, if you remember, did not make it through Congress despite having both support from Democrats and Republicans. So far, 500,000 of you have voted. Kurt Darling reports on what some experts are saying about the hefty turnout for early voting.
Indiana Secretary of State Diego Morales says just over 500,000 people in Indiana have already cast their ballot. In Marion County alone, just over 32,000. County Clerk Kate Sweeney Bell tells Wish TV.
A presidential election is a big deal anyway, but a presidential election that is rife with so many twists and turns is compelling for voters.
Early voting runs until noon, November 4th. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:34.
Fall in Indy, and if you hate the paint, do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
After having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Now get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield is partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer no payments until 2026 for qualified buyers.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield and recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The traffic at 3:35. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison stopped on the north side, westbound 465. We have a stall after Michigan Road. It's right in the middle of the interstate, blocking the center lane, stopping us back to Meridian 31 for a delay of 20 minutes. Eastbound 465, stop and go. Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Eastbound 70, stop and go traffic from Holt Road to the South Split for 11 minutes. South side, eastbound 465 slows from 70 over to I-65. 95. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
It looks like we're mostly dry as we move into Thursday evening. A few passing clouds, temperatures dropping into the upper 40s, and a breeze out of the southeast. We'll keep an eye, however, for some showers, which will return on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
One more time.
The Hammer and Nigel Show will go straight to the hotline and bring on Breitbart News Washington Bureau Chief Matt Boyle, one of the best. He has been interviewing Donald Trump. His most recent interview is on Breitbart.com. Let's talk about the campaign. Compare and contrast this week. Doesn't seem like Kamala Harris has had a very good week. Now she's going on CNN town halls telling tales about Donald Trump and his love for Hitler's military, which reeks of desperation to me. Maybe just your overall thoughts on the comparison of the week Trump has had versus the week Kamala Harris has had headed into this election here in a few weeks.
Yeah, look, Kamala Harris is closing out the campaign with nasty, vicious, and false and fake attacks against Donald Trump, calling him a Hitler, a fascist, an authoritarian, all this nonsense that we've heard for years. Well, Donald Trump is actually focused on what he's going to do for American citizens if he wins the election, right? He's going to lower prices. He's going to secure the border. He's going to deliver world peace, right? Like, I mean, again, and Kamala Harris in that CNN town hall you mentioned last night, she dodged every single question about issues. She was asked if she's ever made a mistake as vice president. She said she's not perfect, but then she couldn't name a single mistake she made, right? Like, so the fact is that you would have the continuation of the Biden-Harris failures on the border, on the economy, on inflation, on all these radical policies that they've been engineering from Washington, D.C., if Kamala Harris were to win. So the fact is that Donald Trump seems to have all the momentum, and Kamala Harris has none of it. Going into the final couple weeks here, Kamala Harris is going to give a closing address on Tuesday upcoming on the National Mall, where she's going to give this angry, nasty screed against Donald Trump, and it's just not working, right? Like, so the early vote numbers and the polling data, et cetera, seems to show all the momentum is with Donald Trump, and the energy is totally collapsed out of Kamala Harris.
And it does seem like, you know, she had that whole thing where she's all joyful. She's all about happiness. The campaign is joy, joy, joy. It seems like Donald Trump is now kind of the happy soldier, the happy warrior. Am I describing that correctly? It seems like something.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was always fake with Kamala, though, right?
Yes,
like, so it was always engineered and manufactured and fake, right? Like, it wasn't real like it was with Barack Obama back in 2008. Let's put it this way. They're trying to, on the Democrat side, recreate the glory days of Barack Obama. And I use the word glory days on purpose, because who are they going to be with tonight in Atlanta, right? Like, in Atlanta, you're going to see Bruce Springsteen come out with Barack Obama and Kamala Harris, and they're going to do a great little show. And then they're going to have Beyonce on the trail the next day in Texas. But again, all of this comes down to they're trying to recreate those glory days back during the Obama years politically. Kamala Harris is not Barack Obama, right? Like, she doesn't have it, right? Like, certain people have it and certain people don't, right? Barack Obama had it. Donald Trump has it. Kamala Harris just doesn't, right? Like, and you can see it all the time, and that's why she's in total collapse, and her campaign staff are all fighting with each other.
Yeah, Breitbart Washington Bureau Chief Matt Boyle, one of the best at breaking down the elections and the polling numbers and everything for 2024 here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Something else that I loved, I wish I would have thought of this on my own. One of the narratives last night at the CNN town hall is that Kamala Harris is being treated to a different standard than Donald Trump. And I heard one of your fellow colleagues, Emma Jo Morris, say, yeah, she is. She's being treated like a child by the media, and Donald Trump is being treated viciously and unfair by corporate legacy media. And that really struck a chord and resonated with me. Did it you?
Yeah, look, if the establishment media was even a fifth of the level of critical of Kamala Harris that they are to Trump, there wouldn't be a Kamala Harris campaign at this point, right? Like, and so they're coddling her, right? Like, they're keeping her alive because they hope that she may be able to get it together and come back. But I saw some folks out there in the aftermath of I think it was Mark Halperin, who's kind of been like the oracle of 2024.
Yeah.
And good on him for calling all these major things ahead of time. But he comes out and says that, after last night's CNN town hall, the idea that there's a hope that she may one day get it together, it's gone, right? Like, we're inside 2 weeks to the election, right? It's like 10, 13 days, something like that, for 12 days, I think, at this point. The fact is that there is no the clock is ticking, right? Like, let's put it this way. She's not Tom Brady driving up the field to score the game-winning touchdown. Like, that's not happening, right?
Yes.
Like, she might be Mac Jones in that she'll probably throw an interception, right? Like, but it's just, she doesn't have it, right? Like, she's not the person you want with the football at the end of the game. She's not the person you want with the basketball at the end of the game. She's going to make a mistake, and she keeps making them all the time.
Talk about Donald Trump. One of the big news stories this week, and it got a lot of a negative attention from not only the Kamala Harris campaign, Tim Walz, her running mate, but the corporate media, was Donald Trump at McDonald's. Just maybe your overall perspective, your analysis of that campaign stop at McDonald's, and then the media reaction afterwards.
Yeah, well, first off, it's Donald Trump at his best, right?
Yes.
Like, you get to see Trump. You've seen this kind of Trump back in the day, back when he ran his company, right? Like, he hasn't been running his company, obviously, because he's been a candidate for president and the president for the last 10 years. But the point is, like, back in the day, he used to do all the jobs around his company just to see what it was like, and he'd go spend a day doing this job or that job, or whatever. And, he really can connect with the average person. He can connect with the regular folks in a way that you can't see these establishment political elites do. That's why the media has been so nasty in response to it, because of how powerful a moment it was, right? Like, I mean, Donald Trump standing there with the apron on, handing stuff through the drive-through window, they all trying to say that, oh, it's fake, it's staged, the restaurant was actually closed. Yeah, the restaurant was actually closed. And yes, they screened the people who were coming in, because the Secret Service can't let any, random jamoke who's running through the drive-through, next to Donald Trump, who's been shot at multiple times and actually shot at least once during the course of this campaign. So, of course, they have to actually screen the people that are coming through. That being said, it was representative of, he actually did the work, right? Like, he was actually making the fries and put them in the thing and delivering the stuff through the window. And, so of course it's just, it doesn't make, the criticisms of it are just, weak. And I think they just show how powerful a moment it was for Trump.
And finally, Breitbart Washington Bureau Chief Matt Boyle here on the Hammer and Nigel show. I know you recently interviewed Donald Trump. How many times have you interviewed Donald Trump? Can you count on
I don't know,
fingers and toes? Yeah, a lot. Tell me about this latest interview. It's at Breitbart.com. What was his mood? What was the feeling like? What did he talk about?
So this interview was a little different than normal with me and him in that we broadcast it, right? So it was on radio. So we played it on Sirius XM. Usually when I interview him, it's a print interview. And so I've done some broadcast interviews with him over the years, but in video, on camera, and on radio and stuff. But usually it's print interview. So in that, it's less of a two-way street conversation. It's more like I ask a question, he answers a question, I ask another one, he answers it. The big thing that you could tell he really wanted to get across was because Kamala was out there saying he was exhausted. She seems to have dropped that nonsense now, right? Like, and now is onto he's a threat to democracy and is going to destroy the world and is Hitler. By the way, which is it? Like, is he exhausted? Is he Hitler? Is he going to weaponize government? Is he too old to be president? I mean, I don't know. None of this is very consistent. But the thing he was really getting across was, how hard he's working here for the American people's votes in the final days. Obviously, I talked to him right before he did the McDonald's trip. It was the day before that. And he was laying out how just very hard he's working in the final couple of weeks here and how she's not, right? Like, and so, you know, we talked about several of major issues too, from immigration to the economy. And we also talked about the Senate Democrats. You've seen several of the Senate Democrats out there now act like they're Trump supporters.
Yes.
So they voted to impeach him.
Yeah.
That should tell you everything you need to know. When Bob Casey in Pennsylvania and Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin are acting like they're Trump friends, they're, you know, they know who's winning their states.
Epic as always, Matt Boyle, Breitbart News, Washington Bureau Chief. Find the latest interview with he and Donald Trump, Breitbart.com. We'll talk to you here in a week or two, Matt, for an update. Thank you very much, sir.
You bet, anytime.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, folks, Hunter Smith here. I spent every fall from my childhood until my days in the NFL on the gridiron. Football gave me the chance to attend Notre Dame and go on to win a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts. Football also taught me life lessons about hard work and toughness. This fall looks a little different. I'm not on the field. I'm running to represent you at the State House, and I'm taking hits from opponents. Hits meant to mislead you about my values and priorities. I'm tough enough to take it, and I trust voters are smart enough to know the truth.
Hunter Smith is a husband, father, and local business owner of Wonder Tree Farm. At the State House, Hunter will work to lower property taxes without impacting priorities like public safety. The Indiana State Police Alliance and Fraternal Order of Police endorse Hunter Smith, and Hunter will always empower parents to choose the best education for their kids. Vote Hunter Smith for state representative.
Paid for by Hunter Smith for Indiana.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou, a term provider, 800-444-9336. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-9336. That's 800-444-9336. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-444-9336.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Our Turn Back the Time sale has been so crazy good that we're now extending it through Monday, November the 4th. Everything from Lazy Boy, Smith Brothers, dining, bedroom, it's all on sale at pre-pandemic prices with free delivery within 75 miles of our store. You will never see these prices again. Hurry in to Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Sale ends Monday.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Johnson County Fairgrounds in Franklin. The best dealers in the region, hundreds of tables, just $6 for adults. Kids 12 and under get in free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade. This Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Johnson County Fairgrounds in Franklin. For more info, visit centralindianagunshows.com.
Have you heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience. So I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick, she's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
A lot of people don't know this, but that little guitar music you hear in the background of that last promo was Matt Bear strumming it along.
It was. I also play the cello. You should hear the other promo they just made. Looking at the north side, westbound 465, it's a stall after Michigan Road, and that's blocking the center lane, stopping traffic back to Meridian 31 for a 22-minute delay. Eastbound 70, stop and go into the south split from Holt Road, 10-minute delay. East side, southbound 465 slows before 70 down to Washington Street, and on the north side, eastbound 465, stop and go Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up a little bit after 4 o'clock, what are the international betting markets saying about our presidential election? Plus, Tucker Carlson was on a heater last night.
Saw that.
He had a strong speech. We've got highlights. Right now, 64 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Let's crank up a little booze news.
You set him up and I'll knock him back, Lloyd. 1 by 1.
We are gonna read booze news, cause it's really fun.
Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
Hammer and Nigel presents
Booze news, booze news. Time for booze news. I love this. A group of dudes in England have been meeting up for drinks almost every Thursday since 1968.
There we go.
These guys now are all in their 80s.
Awesome.
They've missed very few hangout sessions over the years. Here they are talking about their group.
I bet we haven't missed in 56 years. I bet we haven't missed 25 Thursday nights. We're down to 7 or 8 now, but we still meet every week. We don't do emotional type stuff.
I think you should.
We talk about our intimate illnesses, and
this Glee Club started with soccer and sex, which we discussed, and now we talk about pensions and prostate.
How many times a night you get up to go to the toilet? That's what we talk about.
Perfect. I love it.
I love this.
It started out with soccer and sex. Now it's pensions and prostates for these Brits that have been meeting up for drinks every Thursday since 1968. That's commitment.
That's awesome. That's what that is. I love hearing that.
I wonder if these guys have wives. Because I don't know. I don't know if that's swing anymore with my schedule and my home life.
Okay, I'll give you the counterpoint here.
Okay.
I bet they do have wives, and that's why they go out and drink every
Well,
Thursday.
I'm saying, or maybe their wives kick them out. No, please leave the house. You're 85. Go have drinks with your buddies.
You want to add a Tuesday to the mix too? It's perfectly fine with us.
Yeah.
How about this? Caller number 9 right now. 239-9393. You win 2 tickets to the World Food Championships. Like, Nigel, I think I'm more excited about this than the Super Bowl. I am so excited for the World Food Championships.
Well, this is the Super Bowl of the World Food Championships.
It is.
It really is.
Indiana State Fairgrounds, November 8th through the 12th. You can buy your tickets, worldfoodchampionships.com, or you could win a pair right now. All the samples you can handle. There's like an interactive kids zone.
1,200 chefs, 40 different countries
The
competing.
best chefs in the world.
In the world.
All making a buttload of food for you to put down your pie hole. So get your tickets right now, worldfoodchampionships.com, or be caller number 9, 239-9393.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. And a thank you to our loyal customers for making our agency a national sales leader for the 7th straight year. We recently saved a family of 4 over $500 monthly when compared to their ACA plan. You know it's still Obamacare, right? We've recently saved a 61-year-old retiring couple over $600 when compared to their COBRA plan. Breaking news. We are now able to offer health insurance to employer groups of all sizes with two of the largest insurers in the Midwest. We'll be here when you need us. Quoting my favorite president, what the heck do you have to lose? We can help. As always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
Call Ron or Terry at 317-563-0868. That's 317-563-0868. Or go to rragency.org. That's rragency.org. A health plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Students who can read by the end of third grade are 35% more likely to graduate. I'm Dr. Katie Jenner, Indiana Secretary of Education, here to tell you how reading 30 minutes per day can improve the trajectory of a child's life. Whether you are reading with your child or they are reading independently, this is one of the most important things you can do to help them succeed. So this school year, please encourage your child to continue reading. It's a small habit that makes a big difference.
Sponsored by the Indiana Department of Education and aired by this station.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at lifelock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Is your pet a digging enthusiast, an escape artist, or a counter surfer? Invisible Fence brand has you covered. For the wannabe landscaper, we've got a solution to keep them active but not destructive. For the escape artist, our personalized pet fences keep them safe and sound at home. Counter surfer? No problem. We know how to keep cheese thieves at bay. Invisible Fence brand. Tailor-made solutions for your pet, your yard, and your needs. Visit invisiblefence.com today.
Indiana Pathways for Aging helps Hoosier Medicaid members age 60 and over get support at no additional cost to live life their way.
Mom's Parkinson's is progressing, and Pathways provides in-home support so she can be with family every day.
Pathways coordinates Medicaid and Medicare services. I'm getting help with meals, personal care, and transportation.
One day, I might choose a nursing home, but today, I have options with Pathways.
To learn more, eligible members call 87 Pathway 4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens in Westfield. Starting today, it's 30% or more off all nursery items in stock. You heard me right. Container trees, shrubs, and balled and burlapped items are at least 30% off. Visit the Garden Center for even deeper discounts. Looking to decorate for Halloween and Thanksgiving? Sundown Gardens can help you there, too. Save 30% off interior fall decor inside Miss Mary's gift shop. Enjoy fall and save at Sundown Gardens, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, someone's dead after a shooting in Speedway earlier today. Ryan Hedrick tells you what happened. What's happened during day 6 of the Delphi murders trial. And good luck getting to an IU football game for the rest of the season. They're all sold out of tickets. You'll have to use some extra cash to get some on the secondary market. That's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
They're both talking about enthusiasm. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. Former President Trump has suggested it's the best yet of his 3 campaigns, while Vice President Kamala Harris is set to share the stage tonight with former President Obama and Bruce Springsteen.
The Harris campaign is still struggling to win over black men, and the candidate is still struggling to articulate ways that she could bring down prices that have risen during her time in office.
Fox's Peter Ducey in Clarkston in Georgia, outside Atlanta, for tonight's rally. Trump will hold one in Arizona and another in Las Vegas tonight. Months after Amazon apologized for and corrected Alexa devices appearing to take sides in the election, Fox Business has learned their explanation to a House panel on why Alexa answered questions about voting for Harris but not for Trump, when the devices aren't supposed to answer election-related questions at all.
Amazon explained to Hill staff that there is a manual override in place that prevents Alexa from responding to certain questions like why someone should vote for a certain candidate. That override was in place for Trump and Biden, but it was never put in place when Biden dropped out and Kamala Harris took his place. And it really didn't get on Amazon's radar until that viral video, partly because very few people were asking Alexa why to vote for Harris.
Fox Business's Hillary Vaughn on Capitol Hill. Fox also learning the answer on voting for Harris was generated by artificial intelligence, not programmed by an engineer. McDonald's is already being sued over an E. coli outbreak announced this week and linked to Quarter Pounder burgers. One person has died, nearly 50 have been sickened, including a Colorado man who filed a lawsuit accusing the chain of negligence and seeking more than $50,000 in damages. The CDC and McDonald's are still investigating the specific source of the outbreak. A mixed finish on Wall Street, the Dow down 140 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A shooting in Speedway. Skies are clear over the monument with temperatures in the lower 60s. No need to worry about any rain on your radar. Tonight's low down to about 50. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. A man's dead after he was shot through a window today. Ryan Hedrick reports.
People who live right off of West 10th Street here in Speedway tell police that they heard several gunshots right after midnight Thursday. The shooting was in a parking lot in an apartment complex along North Norfolk Street. The person who was shot and killed is a 28-year-old man. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Kathy Schenk, one of the people that gave testimony so far today in the Delphi murders trial. She's someone who volunteered to help with administrative duties in the case that included file management and also handling about 14,000 tips. Schenk says that Richard Allen's file in the case had been previously labeled as Richard Allen Whiteman. That part at the end, a mistake. The file was also labeled cleared at one point. Allen's the man accused of killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German. If it's rain you've been wanting, it's rain you could possibly get soon.
We're expecting some showers and even maybe some thunderstorms to develop late tonight into tomorrow morning across eastern Illinois, northern Indiana, and then move into areas north of I-70 early tomorrow morning.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says most places in central and northern Indiana will likely get no more than a quarter of an inch of rain. And IU football, they've sold out of their home games for the rest of the season. John Herrick reports on what the plan is now.
Indiana University Athletic Director Scott Dolson says he and his staff are now working to make sure that this football season is not a one-hit wonder.
Believe me, I never complain about too big of a crowd. That's for sure. We've been on the other end. We've done all the work we can to get people here. So when we have them here, we want to do everything we can to make sure we provide the most positive experience we can.
He says upgrades will be coming to the team's home, Memorial Stadium. At some point, the Hoosiers are 7-0 for the first time since 1967 and ranked 13th in the country. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Hey, diamond lovers. Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. When it's this important, you want someone who knows exactly how to work with your budget. Not against it. Someone who knows you deserve a piece more beautiful than you've ever imagined. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've always sourced our diamonds and gemstones directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. So many in stock and ready to take home today. Create your dream engagement ring in 3 easy steps. Or pick a perfectly preset ring that's created by our in-house design team. Browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts for everyone in your life, from diamond and gemstone studs to must-have tennis bracelets and beautiful birthstone necklaces. With our everyday competitive prices and unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company is your go-to destination for fine jewelry. Visit shaneco.com and come in to see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
You got it, Harrison. Looking at the north side, it's westbound 465 after Michigan Road. Breakdown blocking 2 right lanes. We're down to 1 lane. Traffic is stopped back to Meridian, 31, 18 minutes on the delay. Eastbound 465 stop and go traffic after Meridian over to Allisonville Road. They're sending the house at 34th at Sherman right now. This is a crash with injury. I would stay clear for the moment. Southbound 65 closed at West Street, and that is for the rest of the month. Eastbound 70 stop and go Holt Road into the South Split, 20 minutes on that delay time. Traffic sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
It looks like we're mostly dry as we move into Thursday evening. A few passing clouds, temperatures dropping into the upper 40s and a breeze out of the southeast. We'll keep an eye, however, for some showers, which will return on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters?
Weirdos. So let's rock it. Hammer looks like this new poll saying that Trump's got an edge over Harris. Everybody knows who I mean when I say Harris, right?
Of course, the crafty veteran reliever on the Cleveland Indians in the movie Major League. Who else could you be talking about?
I meant Vice President Kamala Harris. Do I call her Kamala? I mean, we all know Trump, obviously, but when I say former President Trump with an edge over Harris, is that disrespectful in any way, shape, or form? Am I saying Kamala right? There's too many rules over this. I'm sorry. I know this is about this polling, and it's consequential, but there's too many rules. I can't take it.
So I'll counter with this question.
All right, yeah.
Do you care? Do you care what people think about the way you pronounce her name?
I could care less.
Or if it's, quote, now disrespectful to call somebody by their last name.
Hell, Harris. I swear, when that scene in Major League, when Harris starts to pray, like in the locker room, and Doran goes, oh, bleep, Harris. And fans are farting. I swear Biden had to have done that to Kamala Harris at some point in the White House.
Right? If he did, I'm going to lie. If Joe Biden did that at some point and there's video of it, I'll take back every negative thing I've said about that.
You're going to write in Biden.
I may write in Biden, yes. There's video of him going, bleep Harris, and fanning a fart Harris. Walking out of the Oval Office.
Anyway, back to this. You tell me about this poll, because you said you're famous for saying you don't care about the national polls, just the statewide polls. But this national one from Wall Street Journal giving Donald Trump the edge, 47% to 45%.
I do not care about national polls, Nige, including this one from the Wall Street Journal that has Donald Trump up 47% to 45%.
A lot of polls got Donald Trump with the advantage, man.
And the reason I don't care about national polls is because that is not how we pick the president. How do we know these pollsters didn't just contact a bunch of people from Florida or a bunch of people from California? Well, that would just be 2 states, right? Individual state polling is what interests me, because that is how we pick the president. That's the Electoral College process. So if it's one big poll, no, I don't care. If it's individual state polling, now you've got my interest. AI Donald Trump, your thought on the polling advantage?
You know who else had a big polling advantage? Arnold Palmer.
Thank you. AI Donald Trump.
I got a big poll for you.
Like, the legacy of Arnold Palmer is so
know.
solid right now.
I know. I've never heard that about Palmer, Arnold. I can't even say it, Arnold Palmer before, until Donald Trump started talking about the legendary manhood of the famous golfer.
And one day, maybe that'll be Dale Davis. I don't know. And again, I used to cover locker rooms back in the day when I was a sports reporter. And the policy of the NBA is when you go into the locker room, the guys are supposed to have at least a towel on.
Right.
Right?
I didn't know that was the policy. I thought they could just walk around willy-nilly naked, flipping and flopping. There was a policy that they had to have towels
That was
on
the policy.
when the reporters were in, because females were allowed in the locker room as well.
Correct. That's the NBA. Now,
Okay.
Dale Davis sees your rule book and throws it out the window. He would stand there at his locker and...
In all his glory?
All of his glory, man.
He would air dry, just like Rod Tidwell in Jerry Maguire?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you remember that scene in Austin Powers where Mini-Me gets called the tripod, I think you know where we're going here. Now, the NFL locker rooms, and I don't know if it's the case now. I used to do this years ago. I covered the Colts when Peyton Manning and everybody was there. They had no such policy. You walk into those locker rooms, to your left, to your right, all dong, all the time. Like, if I wanted to go get a soundbite from Brandon Stokely, I'd have to, step over Dwight Freeney's crank and make my way over to the locker.
All dong, all the time in the Colts locker room. Hey.
WDNG, playing the hits.
Who was it that got in trouble for posting a social media picture of the Colts locker room, and in the background you could see
That was
Andrew
McAfee.
McAfee, that's right. I
And
mean, he
Andrew
wasn't
Luck
doing
was
it,
in the background.
but he wasn't doing it maliciously. It was after Colts win, and Luck. I don't think he was naked either. He was
Butt cheeks.
He was. No, he had briefs on or something.
I thought it was more than that.
I don't know.
But, that's... I don't know if it's still like that. We'll have to ask some of the guys at the Fan that cover locker rooms, but it used to be the wild, wild west in those locker rooms. Last night, Nige, Tucker Carlson spoke at the Turning Point event for Donald Trump. Now, Turning Point is this organization that was founded by Charlie Kirk, and mainly their goal is to get young people fired up about conservative values.
Sure.
So they had this big event last night. Donald Trump, I believe, spoke at it at one point, but the star of the night was Tucker Carlson. He got 2 standing ovations for his speech. Listen to his breakdown of the current Democratic Party.
The story the country tells itself about reality has flipped. None of the normal people are supporting the Democratic machine. Tim Walz is supporting the Democratic machine. A man you would never allow to babysit your own children. That's the archetype. It's the party of weirdos, of envy, of hate, of resentment, of bitterness, of weakness, of a total lack of creativity. It's a party of conformity. It's a party of the machine, where it doesn't matter who the candidate is because individuals are immaterial. All that matters is the collective. That's the Soviet model. And opposing them is the rest of the country, slowly waking up to the fact that these people have no moral authority whatsoever. They have no legitimacy in a democracy where the government must rule by the consent of the governed. They have no consent. And the way that they've treated this country over the past 4 years is the most shocking thing I've ever seen in 55 years.
So that was just the opening.
And yeah, for the Democrats, it doesn't matter who the candidate is. I mean, they replaced Joe Biden with Kamala Harris.
Right.
The candidate's almost secondary.
One person you can
ideology.
treat as a puppet
Yes.
with another person you can treat as a puppet. Now, here was a little bit more from Tucker Carlson.
To allow millions of people, mostly young men with no skills and no English, into our country illegally, and then fly them around at our expense and give them phones and put them on welfare programs that no American citizen can get, that's the biggest crime in the history of the United States of America. And it takes incredible stones, incredible gall for the people who did that to stand up there on a stage and give you a lecture about how you're immoral. It's too much. And so that's the second important thing about this election, okay? The first is every person in this room needs to understand you are not in a despised minority. You are in an incredibly gentle and tolerant majority who put up with this crap for way too long.
I mean, listen to that crowd, man.
Sounds like he should be running for president.
I'm not going to lie. I would dig a Tucker Carlson run to the White House. I'm in, man. I'm 100% in. All right, Matt Bear standing by in the WIBC Traffic Center. Matt, what are we looking at?
We are looking at the north side, and we are stopped on westbound 465 from Meridian past Michigan Road. That is a 33-minute delay because of a stall, a breakdown blocking 2 right lanes. Eastbound 465 stopped after Meridian over to Allisonville Road. Southbound 65 closed at west for bridge maintenance. That's for the rest of the month. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic after Sam Jones Expressway into the South Split for a 22-minute delay. Southwest side southbound 465 has stopped traffic from 70 down to Kentucky Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. They run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
64 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. All right, now is the time. We need all of you to run to the WIBC YouTube page and hit like. Click that thumbs up. Last time I checked, we needed 45 more people to hit like to get us to 100. If we don't get to 100, then that means Kamala Harris is going to win the presidency. And I don't think anybody wants that. No. So go to the WIBC YouTube page, hit like, help us out. We're going to play Is This Anything next.
So if you drill down into the stats, especially if you're single or widowed, the stats aren't pretty. You run a far greater risk of running out of money in retirement. So the last thing you want to be is 80 years old and broke. You need to discover the strategies that could ensure you never run out of money in retirement with Bill Demery. Bill Demery is your retirement guy in Indy.
We know and trust Bill Demery, and you can too. We don't put our names on just any random person here. It has to be somebody that is right for our audience and right for us. And trust us when we say you can count on Bill Demery. He explains things in a way that you can understand, and he's been really good for us. Call Bill Demery right now, 317-648-5120, 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy, 317-648-5120.
It's the good food or the friendly mood. You can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
It's October and the weather is changing, and if you want in on a little secret, October is the best time to buy new windows. Fixing your old windows before winter is a priority. Call who I called, Window Nation.
For every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 for free. And there's no limit. So think about how much you could save, and your house will look better. Your heating and air bills will be lower because these windows are energy efficient. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Pacers basketball is ready to run it back and show the world that our time is now.
Oh, boy! Turner with the dunk!
Get ready to experience the most fun, fast-paced team in basketball when the action tips off at Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
Opening night, presented by Kroger, tips off when your Pacers meet the 76ers Sunday at 3:30. Lucas Oil Family Night tickets start at $39 and include a Pacers hat, hot dog, chips, and a small Pepsi product. Get your tickets at Pacers.com/family. Pacers 76ers, Sunday at 3:30.
Don't you deserve health care you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans. Made for Indianapolis, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
Can you hear me? So can your customers. Get your message heard. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Hendricks County.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
So, Big Nige, we've got controversy. A lot of people seem to think that Aaron Rodgers was caught on camera eating his own burger.
the quarterback for the Jets?
Correct. You can go on social media, look up Aaron Rodgers booger. You can kind of make your own mind up.
All right, you talked me into it.
But the man himself wanted to clear things up. He went on Pat McAfee, and this is what he had to say.
I've actually never eaten my boogers. That's one thing I'm very proud of. It's a tough look to try and defend because that video is a little incriminating. But I can tell you that there needs to be a side view that shows that there wasn't a boog that actually went in the mouth. Yeah, it's a bad look.
Oh, now I'm watching it. Yeah, he ate a booger for sure.
I mean, that's a booger eating, right?
That's wow. I love how he said, "Yeah, I've actually never eaten a booger." Like it was within the realm of possibility. No, actually, I've never eaten a booger.
Like everyone else has.
And Pat goes, "Really?" as if Aaron's the unusual subject here in this setting. Really? You've never eaten a booger? Which brings us, ladies and gentlemen, to great moments in denying eating boogers history.
All right.
This is Coach Harbaugh, I believe, at Michigan State. Or I'm sorry, Michigan Wolverines on the sidelines. He was definitely eating boogers on the sidelines. And he was asked about that at an interview afterwards.
I have never eaten a booger in my entire life. There was no booger eaten. For the record, I have never eaten a booger.
3 denials in a row there. I saw that. I mean, you watch that footage too. There is now Aaron Rodgers claims, and I'm watching now, it's like it was smelling salts or something like that. That's what he was saying.
I don't buy that at all. To quote Ron Burgundy, I don't believe you. I don't believe either one of them.
Okay.
I think Harbaugh ate the booger, and I think Aaron Rodgers ate the booger. Mike Pence used to sit in this chair, by the way.
Right there? Okay.
Is this anything? A woman in California named Ariel posted this voicemail message accidentally and ruined the gender reveal. She gave them a sealed envelope from her doctor and asked for different cake fillings.
Okay.
Raspberry or strawberry for the girl.
Okay.
Blackberry or blueberry for the boy.
Okay.
Here's the voicemail that blew the surprise.
Hi, Ariel. Please give me a call regarding your order. You ordered a single lemon with blackberry, and we don't have blackberry filling. The only thing that actually makes the single lemon is the lemon curd, and you want a gender reveal. So we need to talk about the cake.
So blackberry was boy.
So it's a boy. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Don't you have a story about how somebody left you a voicemail that totally ruined a significant moment in your life, in your relationship with your wife?
So many, many moons ago, long before I was partnered with the awesome folks at Diamonds Direct, who would never make this mistake in a million years.
Right.
I was living with my girlfriend, now wife at the time, and I was getting close to popping the question. Right, it's right around the corner. Like, it was to the point to where we would just go out to dinner at night, and she'd think that would be the night.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't, she'd be all bitchy and moany. But I went out and got the ring, right, did the thing, and they said, all right, we're going to let you know when it's ready. And I told them, hey, I live with my wife. I'll call you. Do not leave a message. Sure, got it. One day they left a message. Mr. Hammer, your big, awesome diamond engagement ring is ready to be picked up at our store. Guess who got the voicemail?
Your wife. Your future wife.
Future wife. Which brings us to great moments in voicemail history.
Wait a minute. Did she let you know that she got the message, or did she keep
afterwards?
Okay. Oh.
Weasel.
After the proposal, she said,
yes.
Yeah, I knew this was coming. I heard the voicemail.
Yes.
Wow.
Great moments, voicemail history.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alec Baldwin.
You have insulted me. You don't have the brains or the decency as a human being. I don't give a damn that you're 12 years old or 11 years old, or that you're a child, or that your mother is a thoughtless pain in the ass who doesn't care about what you do as far as I'm concerned. You have humiliated me for the last time with this phone. And when I come out there next week, I'm going to fly out there for the day just to straighten you out. So you better be ready Friday, the 20th, to meet with me. So I'm going to let you know just how I feel about what a rude little pig you really are.
The bizarre thing in that voicemail, and I think you've pointed this out before, was he's angry the whole time except for on the date. Now I'm going to get up there on Friday, the 20th, and straighten you out. Like, just to make sure it's the 20th. Okay, we're all on the same page here.
I have an 11-year-old. I have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. Could you imagine talking to either one of them like that?
Oh, you don't have boys, do you?
Well, I got a 12.
You got one boy.
Soon to be 13-year-old boy, but I would never leave him a voicemail.
No, not a voicemail like that. But there are times, as a parent, you understand why some animals eat their young. Great moments in voicemail history. This is when Tiger Woods got busted banging waitresses from Chili's.
Hey, it's Tiger. I need you to do me a huge favor. Can you please take your name off your phone? My wife went through my phone and maybe calling you. Okay, you gotta do this for me. Huge, quickly. All right, bye.
There was another voicemail I wanted to play, the classic Pat O'Brien call.
Oh, no.
But I couldn't clean any of it up.
No.
So I found this one that was left on my voicemail in our back office, Nige.
Quit spewing bullshit, untruths, throw it in the wall and let it see if it sticks. Unsubstantiated, random crap. Oh, wait a minute. I think Trump's not from the United States. We haven't seen his birth certificate. Oh, my God. If I think that, then it has to be true. Just like Donnie. Give me a fucking break. The dude's a fat, gray-tanned, want to fuck his daughter, piece of shit.
Oh.
And you want to do things to Trump that I won't even say because, well, I'll just say it. You want to
Come
There's
on.
a reason that you work in Indianapolis, a low-market, piddly little town, man, because you don't have any brains or talent. Your partner's from Liston? Wow. He's got a good world view. Sometimes I think you fucking losers have never left this state. Oh, my God. Nigel and Hammer Show. Is this anything? You guys are fucking losers, man.
Oh, wow.
Go yourself.
Great moments in voicemail history on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
The only place my wife and I will ever go for any kind of furniture in our house is Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. It's worth the very quick drive down 65. They have the best prices. In fact, right now they have the turn back time sale, which has just been extended to November 4th. Everything from Lazy Boys, Smith Brothers, Bassett, and mattresses from Tempur-Pedic, Stearns and Foster, and Sierra Sleep. Interest-free financing available. Oh, and did I mention free delivery?
Located in Columbus, Thompson Furniture and Mattress, owned and operated by the same Hoosier family since 1927. And when everybody else is raising up their prices, they still have free delivery and setup if you live within 75 miles of their store in Columbus. They take care of you guys. They take care of us here on the Hammer and Nigel show. So if you need a couch, a love seat, a mattress, you name it, Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus is where you need to go. ThompsonFurniture.net. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Need a new work truck? Need a new fleet vehicle? Andy Moore Ford has got you covered. Over 800 new vehicles available on the lot, including the Super Duty trucks available starting only at $43,995. You've got F-150s, transit vans, the custom work vehicles for any industry, all built Ford tough, and Rangers with that all-new body style from only $36,995. And of course, you want the cool fun stuff. They've got the Broncos, the Bronco Sports. I'm driving a Bronco. I own a Bronco Sport. And interest rates as low as 0% APR available on new Andy Moore Fords. And when you need service, Andy Moore Ford will come to you. Just schedule it online at andymoreford.com. They'll come pick up the vehicle, service it, and bring it back to you as good as new. Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield. Visit them on Main Street. Tell them Tony Cat sent you, or find them online at andymoreford.com. That's Andy Moore Ford, M-O-H-R.
I love Andy.
andymoreford.com.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
His story hasn't always been the same. Mostly sunny with temperatures in the lower 60s downtown. No trouble on your radar. 50 degrees is where your low temp should settle tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:32. Inconsistencies with the defendant. Donnie Burgess reports on day 6 in the Delphi murders trial.
Suspect Richard Allen told investigators in 2017 he was on the trails between 1:30 and 3:30. But when re-interviewed in 2022, Allen said he was there no later than 2 o'clock. The state says Abigail Williams and Liberty German were being killed sometime after 2:13 p.m. When asked if he was Bridge Guy, Allen said in 2022 that if the picture of Bridge Guy is on Libby's phone, there's no way it's him. Allen's original police file was labeled cleared. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Rain is possible for some portions of the state tomorrow.
There's potential, depending on how strong these thunderstorms do get, for some heavy rain early tomorrow morning, but this should stay within the Lafayette to Kokomo on north area.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says any rain that does show up Friday should clear up by the evening. You really shouldn't get much in terms of total rainfall. Vice President Kamala Harris says she's going to look for practical solutions on southern border security if elected. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
The vice president says former President Trump has stood in the way of bipartisan solutions to the migrant crisis at the southern border.
We have the tools at hand, but we have on the other side of this election Donald Trump, who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
Harris says she's committed to a Senate compromise that failed earlier this year. That legislation includes $650 million for border wall funding. During the Trump administration, Harris called a wall stupid and useless. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
If you've driven anywhere near downtown lately, you've probably seen Taylor Swift in the JW Marriott.
I mean, she's 300 feet high. That guitar, if you're looking at it, is the size of a Boeing
3737. So kind of gives you perspective of really how big it is. It's hard to understand that until you're standing outside of it, how big it is.
Marty Hill, the president of Sport Graphics, that's the company that created that image of that size of Taylor Swift to be put on the hotel. They also work with the Pacers and the Colts. You drive by Lucas Oil, you see those players on the stadium. That's Sport Graphics. And a mixed day in the market. The Dow was down by 140 to 42,374. The NASDAQ increasing today by 138 points to 18,415. And the S&P 500 up by 12 to 5,809. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:34.
Jennifer McCormick couldn't name a single thing she disagreed with Hillary Clinton on. That's because, just like Hillary, McCormick backed failed liberal policies. She endorsed Bidenomics, said she'd be honored to serve in Biden's administration. She opposed school choice, and she even supports biological boys playing girls' sports.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
I did vote for Hillary Clinton. She had some great, world foreign policy experience. So, I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
It gets worse. Here's what Jennifer McCormick says about Donald Trump.
I cannot get behind that. Never voted for Trump, never will vote for Trump, never was behind Trump, never will be behind Trump. I just cannot get behind a party who is behind that type of leadership. To me, it's nonsensical.
Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
With traffic at 4:35, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, here it is. Northwest side, northbound 465 before 865. We just hit, and it's in the middle of the interstate, blocking the center lane. This has stopped traffic back to West 79th Street. Delay is at 11 minutes and growing. Westbound 465 stopped traffic from Meridian over to Michigan Road. That's a 38-minute delay. They're starting to see a little relief at the front of the line. They are clearing out slowly at the moment. Another update coming up at about 4:50. Looking at eastbound 465, stop and go from Meridian over to Allisonville Road. Eastbound 70 stopped after Sam Jones Expressway into the south split. Delay time of 37 minutes. And then southbound 465, stop traffic 70 over to Man Road. Crash at 34th at Sherman Drive on the east side. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, north at Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
In the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
It looks like we're mostly dry as we move into Thursday evening. A few passing clouds, temperatures dropping into the upper 40s, and a breeze out of the southeast. We'll keep an eye, however, for some showers, which will return on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hammer, each time Kamala Harris speaks, it seems like she embarrasses herself, even in friendly settings. Boy, that CNN town hall last night was with Anderson Cooper.
I'm sorry, did you say the conversation with Brett Baer on Fox or
no.
Something she did with Breitbart?
No, this was CNN, Anderson Cooper, the moderator.
Oh, so it was friendly neighborhood, huh?
Yeah, and it was back to like the old Kamala Harris. The Kamala Harris of yesterday, where Donald Trump is a fascist, Donald Trump is Hitler, Donald Trump is a dictator, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't a very happy, joyous town hall, in my opinion.
And to be honest with you, and listen, we'll make fun of these people when they warrant it, like Norah O'Donnell, but Anderson Cooper, he did a good job last night. Anderson Cooper pressed back on Kamala Harris. So you got to tip your hat to old AC.
You say that, but again, it's like the old Chris Rock bit, no credit for something you should already have been doing.
Good point. Very good point. You're right.
I take care of my kids.
You're supposed to. Anderson Cooper pointing out that Biden and Kamala Harris opened up the border with executive orders and then finally shut the border down with executive orders. Here's Anderson Cooper wondering, why didn't they just close the border sooner and listen as Kamala clearly has no real answer.
2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. It didn't stem the flow. Numbers kept going up. Finally, in 2024, just in June, 3 weeks before the first presidential debate with Joe Biden, you institute executive actions that had a dramatic impact, really shut down people crossing over. Why didn't your administration do that in 2022, 2023?
First of all, you're exactly right, Anderson. And as of today, we have cut the flow of immigration by over half. In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration.
But if
is
it was
low.
that
But
easy
hold on,
with
let me
that
finish.
executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
Because we were working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem instead of a short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's the thing. We have to understand that ultimately this problem is going to be fixed through congressional action.
Anderson Cooper pushing back on Kamala Harris. And you're right, Nigel, you're 100% spot on. This is the way it should be on every network, but unfortunately it's not. Kamala Harris here can't explain why she wants to spend $650 million on Donald Trump's border wall, which she's called stupid over 50 times. And again, good on Anderson Cooper.
I bring a whole set of different experiences to this job and the way I think about it than Joe Biden.
Some voters, though, might ask, you've been in the White House for 4 years, you were vice president, not the president, but why wasn't any of that done for the last 4 years?
Thank you.
Well, there was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And I'm pointing out things that need to be done, that haven't been done, but need to be done.
So she goes down that word salad kind of road here.
There's a lot to do. And Joe Biden undid a lot of it with all those executive orders pertaining to the border as soon as he was inaugurated.
And if there was so much to do, why is he taking so much vacation time? Just throwing that out there.
Because he's 99 years old. That's what old people do. They sleep and they take vacations.
Kamala Harris can't explain why she wants to spend $650 million on a border wall she calls dumb. Anderson Cooper calls on it, and then she's like, well, we're busy. What do you want us to do? That's the argument here. Kamala Harris, man, let's talk about the economy here.
All right.
She goes on this 3-minute rant about what she would do about the economy that's different than Joe Biden. Take a listen.
Under Donald Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. You called it stupid, useless.
I think I may have had the same clip twice.
Grocery prices have gone up quite a bit in the last 4 years. And some people blame former President Trump. Some people blame President Biden. Who would you say is correct? And what would you do to bring prices down for Americans?
Thank you, Eric. And you're absolutely right. You know it. I know it. I think most Americans know it. Price of groceries is still too high. And we need to address it in a number of ways. One of my aspects of doing what we need to do to bring down the cost of living for working people and the middle class in America is to address the issue of grocery prices. Part of my background and how I come to it is probably a new approach grounded in a lot of my experiences as a former attorney general, where I took on price gouging. And part of my plan is to create a new approach that is the first time that we will have a national ban on price gouging.
It's not like these companies all of a sudden decided to get greedy all at once.
Right.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to start charging everybody more for everything. But that's not what this was. It was inflation. It was printing money. It was spending.
Shipping costs.
Corporations didn't just automatically, hey, you know what? We're going to be greedy now, and we're going to charge way, 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 way more for things that people need.
And if you look at the profit margins of most grocery stores, it's not like they've got a 50% profit margin here. Most of these places are like at 1-2%.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's such a ridiculous argument to say price gouging is why people can't afford the same things they were able to afford a number of years ago. But this is my favorite thing. So kind of a fun question from the crowd toward the end of the town hall. I think we've all had this asked at a job interview at some point before. what's your weakness, right? What's your weakness? Now, Allison, I know you've watched a lot of episodes of The Office. Tell me if this answer by Kamala Harris doesn't reek a little bit of Michael Scott.
Perhaps a weakness, some would say, but I actually think it's a strength.
Well, my weaknesses are actually strengths.
Shut up.
Oh. Yes. Very good. There you go. Very good.
I really do value having a team of very smart people.
I work too hard. I care too much. And sometimes I can be too invested in my job.
I mean, that was Kamala Harris's answer, right? Same thing.
Copy and paste.
Oh, man. Van Jones trying to save Kamala Harris after this disastrous town hall on CNN. His argument is, we expect Kamala to be perfect all the time, and that's a mistake because Donald Trump, he gets to be rambunctious, but we nitpick on Kamala Harris.
Look, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are not taking the same exam.
Yeah.
And I think it bothers people. They're not taking the same exam. He gets to be lawless. She has to be flawless. That's what's unfair. That's what's unfair. That's what's unfair tonight. That's what's unfair tonight. They're not taking the same exam. Look, she has policies. She may not articulate them perfectly every time. She may not put the stories in the right places, but she's fighting for actual ideas that will help real people. And he's talking about people's penises.
Van Jones of CNN there. Another callback to the Arnold Palmer story. Again, back for an encore, AI Donald Trump.
You know who else had a big polling advantage? Arnold Palmer.
There you go, Van Jones. There you go.
Van Jones says Kamala Harris is not taking the same exam as Donald Trump. What that means is she's not being treated the same. What that means is she's being treated at a different standard. And of course she's being treated as a different standard. With kid gloves. She's being treated like a child by the media.
She's not being shot at. She's not being prosecuted.
Yeah. She's being thrown softballs.
She's not having the feds raid her house.
By Anderson Cooper standards. Give me a break. The media has been treating her differently for sure. And it's not what she's making it out to be or what Van Jones is making it out to be. And I do find it funny that he used the word penis in the same sentence as Kamala Harris.
I mean, it's kind of how she got her start.
Oh, no. Here we go.
I mean, really, she advanced her career by having an affair with Willie Brown. If she doesn't do that, maybe she just gets stuck in the shuffle with everybody else. Real quick, before we hit a break here, prosecutors in Los Angeles are recommending resentencing the Menendez brothers for their 1989 killing of their parents. Now, I think we were having this conversation off air the other day with not Kenny Rogers here, but I watched that documentary on the Menendez brothers on Netflix. Not the series where there's actors and stuff, but the actual documentary with court, video and all that kind of stuff. I always thought it felt like manslaughter and not murder. Life in jail without parole. Because the story is the old man was molesting the kids and they feared for their life one night and killed their parents. So you can think what you want, but all the pressure started coming back to the prosecutors in L.A. They're about to have a press conference. Gascon and company are about to speak to the media, but it's been leaked out to the AP that prosecutors are going to recommend resentencing Eric and Lyle Menendez for the 1989 killing of their parents. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey folks, Hunter Smith here. I spent every fall from my childhood until my days in the NFL on the gridiron. Football gave me the chance to attend Notre Dame and go on to win a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts. Football also taught me life lessons about hard work and toughness. This fall looks a little different. I'm not on the field. I'm running to represent you at the State House. And I'm taking hits from opponents. Hits meant to mislead you about my values and priorities. I'm tough enough to take it, and I trust voters are smart enough to know the truth.
Hunter Smith is a husband, father, and local business owner of Wonder Tree Farm. At the State House, Hunter will work to lower property taxes without impacting priorities like public safety. The Indiana State Police Alliance and Fraternal Order of Police endorse Hunter Smith, and Hunter will always empower parents to choose the best education for their kids. Vote Hunter Smith for state representative.
Paid for by Hunter Smith for Indiana.
As summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-494-5004 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-494-5004. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Indiana has nearly 2,800 pig farmers and ranks 5th in the country in pork production. Hoosier pig farmers are raising some of the finest pork in the nation. October is National Pork Month. From family farms to innovative operations, Indiana's pig farmers are committed to quality and sustainability, all while providing your family pork that's packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals that are good for you. So the next time you're at the grocery store or your favorite restaurant, make pork your choice and celebrate Indiana pig farmers.
My husband Bob has Parkinson's and he needs more help now, and I need more support to help him. Thanks to Indiana Pathways for Aging, we're getting the support we need to help him right here at home, like with meal prep and basic personal care and even respite support for me.
Pathways provides Hoosier Medicaid members, age 60 and over, support for care their way, so they can live life their way. To learn more, eligible members call 87-PATHWAY-4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Research shows smoking costs Indiana businesses $3.1 billion every year. It also shows that an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes would drastically reduce smoking, which could save lives, create jobs, and infuse the state of Indiana with hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Read the reports from the Richard M. Fairbanks Foundation at thepriceofsmoking.org and see for yourself how an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes can have a positive impact on Hoosiers.
Planes, trains, automobiles, and motorcycles. If you've spent a lot of time working or playing around loud vehicles, you may have trouble hearing on the telephone. Get back in gear with Relay Indiana, providing telephone accessibility to the hard of hearing. Relay Indiana allows hearing-impaired callers to have normal phone conversations through voice recognition technology. And there's loaned equipment for those who qualify. Add clarity back in your phone conversations. Get the CapTel captioned telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, Matt Bear, what's going on with our roads?
Northbound 465 stop and go Hammer 79 to 865 because of an earlier crash. I'm told it has moved out of the interstate. Eastbound 465 stops after Meridian over to the White River. Southbound 65 closed at west for the rest of the month for maintenance. Eastbound 70 dead stop in some spots from Sam Jones Expressway to the South Split. 39 minutes on the delay. South side southbound 465 stop and go after Sam Jones two-man road, then slow from I-69 over 231. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Coming up a little bit after 5 o'clock, Donnie Burgess from the WIBC Newsroom will join us, and I believe Guy Relford will be in studio as well. They will have the latest developments in the Delphi trial, day number 6. A lot of very intricate details in today's testimony. Donnie's going to break it down, plus the latest information, and Guy Relford will provide a perspective from a defense attorney. It's 64 right now at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Passengers on a Spirit Airlines plane saw a rat above an overhead bin on a flight from Dallas to L.A. Jeez. Passengers even dubbed it a super rat. Here's a passenger documenting it.
That's hard to hear, but I heard a beeping sound followed by super rat. That's all I need to hear to never ever fly Spirit Airlines ever in my life. Have you ever been on an airline where there's a rodent running around?
I've not been on an airline where there's a rodent or anybody peeing in the aisle, but I've been on Spirit before. I did Spirit one time. I can't remember where we went. I think I went to Florida, and it was okay. I mean, there's really not a lot of difference between Allegiant, Spirit, Frontier. The only thing I remember, though, was it was kind of a hot day and the AC was broken.
But those airlines you just mentioned, they nickel and dime you to
They
death
do. They
as
do.
well. Oh, sure, it only costs $150 to get from here to Tampa, but it's going to cost you $25 to bring a backpack and stuff it under your seat.
Oh, and that seat that you want to pick?
Yes.
You got to pay for that, too. Like, when I pay for the airline ticket, it should be implied that the seat comes with the purchase. You're right. They nickel and dime you to death. All right. Delphi update coming up after the news.
Well, you hate even having to talk about it, but what's true is true. If you're single or a widowed woman, the stats aren't pretty. You run a far greater risk of running out of money in retirement than any man or married couple. The last thing you want is to be 80 years old, full of life, but flat broke. Discover the strategies, discover the answers that could ensure you never run out of money in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy here in Indy.
We know and trust Bill Demery, and you can too. We don't put our names on just any random person here. It has to be somebody that is right for our audience and right for us. And trust us when we say you can count on Bill Demery. He explains things in a way that you can understand, and he's been really good for us. Call Bill Demery right now, 317-648-5120, 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy, 317-648-5120.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Have you heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience. So I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick, she's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what's happened in day 6 of the Delphi murders trial. There's a chance you could get some rain tomorrow, and IU football has sold out the rest of their home games on the season. They hope this success translates to next year. That's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
The Menendez brothers might get a chance at freedom. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. Eric and Lyle Menendez, convicted in the shotgun killings of their parents in 1989, said they feared their parents were about to kill them to keep secret their claims of sexual abuse by their father. They're serving life terms after being convicted in a retrial that did not allow those claims. The LA County prosecutor reviewing new evidence, including a letter about abuse before the murders. One official tells the Associated Press prosecutors will recommend resentencing, but the official announcement has not happened yet as expected at this hour. Star power on the campaign trail in the closing days of the presidential race. Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House.
Former President Obama and musician Bruce Springsteen are headlining a rally tonight in Georgia with Vice President Kamala Harris. Beyonce is expected to take the stage tomorrow in Houston with Harris, along with other A-list stars.
I think it just shows the breadth and depth of the support that we have, and also the enthusiasm that a lot of people are bringing to the campaign and feel about our campaign.
Speaking with reporters, Harris downplayed concerns of a wide gender gap in the election.
So I'm not actually seeing that kind of disparity, and I intend to be a president for all Americans.
Former President Trump holds a rally at this hour in Arizona and another later in Las Vegas after country star Jason Aldean joined him yesterday in Georgia. He said this week his third campaign might have the most enthusiasm yet. McDonald's officials just confirming the source of fresh onions linked to a deadly E. coli outbreak is a California grower, Taylor Farms of Salinas. The onions were used on quarter pounders, which were taken off menus in several states after nearly 50 people fell ill and one Colorado man died. Some other national restaurant chains pulling onions from menus temporarily, including Burger King and Taco Bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The cops talked to him a while ago. Mostly sunny, 63 degrees on the circle. Don't worry about checking that radar. There's nothing to see. 50s your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. From cleared to charged. Donnie Burgess reports on Thursday morning's testimony in the Delphi murders trial.
Richard Allen was interviewed days after the bodies of Abigail Williams and Liberty German were discovered. Allen said he was on the trails between 1:30 and 3:30, checking stocks on his phone. Allen's interview was wrapped up in 10 minutes, labeled cleared, and forgotten about until 2022, when it was found by a volunteer. And you know the rest from there. Allen is charged with the murders. Former Delphi Police Chief Steve Mullen testified today that Allen later changed his story in 2022, saying he left the trail before 2 o'clock and said he could not be the man captured on Libby's phone. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You could be getting some rain tomorrow.
We're expecting some showers and even maybe some thunderstorms to develop late tonight into tomorrow morning across eastern Illinois, northern Indiana, and then move into areas north of I-70 early tomorrow morning.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says most places in central and northern Indiana will likely get no more than a quarter of an inch of rain. Not much to help with those drought conditions. One man is dead after he was shot through a window earlier today. Ryan Hedrick reports.
People who live right off of West 10th Street here in Speedway tell police that they heard several gunshots right after midnight Thursday. The shooting was in a parking lot in an apartment complex along North Norfolk Street. The person who was shot and killed is a 28-year-old man. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
IU football has had 4 sellout crowds for the first time since 1988. IU Athletic Director Scott Dolson says he doesn't want this season to be a one-hit wonder.
Believe me, I never complain about too big of a crowd. That's for sure. We've been on the other end. We've done all the work we can to get people here. So when we have them here, we want to do everything we can to make sure we provide the most positive experience we can.
The Hoosiers put their perfect 7-0 record to the test again this Saturday. They've got the Washington Huskies at noon. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Okay, close your mouth and take a deep breath in through your nose. So the way it's supposed to be is that you should be able to breathe easily. You shouldn't feel constrained. What it should feel like is air briskly flowing freely through both nasal passages, day and night. And if not, there's a problem. And it's a don't know what your problem really was until you got it fixed kind of problem. You're living with it. I mean, you're tired a lot. It might give you headaches and sinus pressure, but you're living with it. Yeah, you sound like almost every patient we help until we get their problem fixed. And then you hear them saying, why would I put up with that? Advent will get you breathing freely again with simple in-office solutions like turbinate reduction along with balloon sinuplasty that really can change your life.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison eastbound 72 downtown for the west side is stopped after Sam Jones Expressway to I-65, and that is a delay of 47 minutes. Southbound 65 at West Street closed for road maintenance, bridge maintenance for the rest of the month. Eastbound 465 stopped after Meridian to the White River. East side northbound 465 slows from 70 up to Penn Pike. Southbound lanes tight before 72 Washington Street. Southwest side southbound 465 stop and go traffic from Washington Street to Man Road. Traffic sponsored by Inbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thanks, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
It looks like we're mostly dry as we move into Thursday evening. A few passing clouds, temperatures dropping into the upper 40s, and a breeze out of the southeast. We'll keep an eye, however, for some showers, which will return on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Jason Hammer right over there with a pair of very special guests in studio.
Giving you the absolute best in the coverage of the Delphi trial. We've got Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom. Donnie is one of the local media members that has been going in and out of the court, sharing notes with other reporters. He's part of the pool. And Guy Relford, attorney, probably best known as a 2A attorney. You are the gun guy and the host of the Gun Guy Show, but you also are a defense attorney.
You're a criminal defense attorney. 2A may be your specialty, but you
are. Well, absolutely. I mean, most of my cases involve guns, but what I really do is I defend criminal cases. Probably 80% of my caseload. I restore gun rights and whatnot as well. But yeah, criminal defense is mostly what I do.
All right, Donnie Burgess, you're highlighting things as we speak right now. Fast and Furious. Tell us about day 6 of the Delphi trial.
So, I'm trying to remember what happened in the morning because this afternoon was pretty eventful. But this morning,
it seemed kind of convoluted to me.
So this morning, Kathy Shank, who is a DCS worker, she volunteered to help with collecting and managing files with police. She managed somewhere around 14,000 tips, and she's the one who found Richard Allen's file from when he talked to Dan Doolin.
Captain Dan Doolin of the Indiana Department of Natural Resources.
When they had their conversation in 2017 in the parking lot of Save-A-Lot.
So this person was a witness today.
Yes. Kathy was up. She was up first to say that she stumbled upon Allen's file. For some reason, it was mislabeled Richard Allen Whiteman, which Whiteman was the street that Allen lived on. So that
seems like there's been a
happened.
little bit of an organization problem with this whole thing.
Well,
missing interviews, deleted files,
Yes.
things labeled wrong.
And keep in mind who we're talking about here, who is just a volunteer, not even a member of the police department or anything else, just volunteered to be going through some files.
Yeah, so she finds this, and at the top of this file, it says the word cleared for Richard Allen. So she goes through it, but notices, he brings up being on the trails, the time frame, things of that nature. She found things unusual. She passes it over to Carroll County Sheriff Tony Liggett. He starts looking into it, and that is eventually when, what happened after that. He was arrested. The whole thing moved on from there. Dan Doolin was next up, and he described the conversation that was had with Richard Allen in 2017. Allen says, I was there between 1:30 and 3:30. I was just walking around on the trails, not really paying that much of attention. I had the day off work. I was messing with the stock market app on my phone, just walking around. I saw 3 girls, didn't think anything of it, went home. That's it. And so they did about a 10-minute interview. Doolin took handwritten notes. He typed it all up then into a Word document. The phrase, noted down the contents of Allen's phone at the time in 2017 was used, and then they took off from there. Now, I don't know if this is of any note, but when Doolin asked to talk to Allen, Allen said, I don't want to talk at my home or the police station. Let's just meet at the grocery store, so I don't know if that's of any note.
Is that normal, Guy?
Well, sure. I mean, there are a lot of people in general, they're nervous about talking to police officers generally. They're nervous about being what they perceived to be perhaps interrogated, and when they're given the option of, do you want to come to the police station, a lot of people say, I'd rather not. Some will say, I'd rather meet in my home. Some will say, I'd rather meet in a public place. And that's your prerogative. When you're not being arrested, you're not being compelled to talk to police. They're just asking you voluntarily to talk to police.
Should you ask for a lawyer? I mean, I just ask. I don't know. I mean, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, asking a lawyer if you need a lawyer is like asking the guy at the car wash if your car's dirty.
Right, okay.
But the answer is, hell yes, especially if you think you might even remotely be a target of an investigation, absolutely, because a lawyer can steer you through that. And listen, innocent people hire lawyers in criminal investigations all the time. I know, I've represented a bunch of innocent people that can help steer you through that investigation.
Like if I'm out at McDonald's or something, and I've got, somebody coming up to me, Mr. Hammer, we'd like to ask you questions about this specific crime. And if I legitimately have no idea what they're talking about, I'm calling Guy Relford.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, and listen, there's a default position, which is don't talk to the cops. Just don't talk to the cops. They're not talking to you. And listen, we're all fans of law enforcement here, right? And we all want crimes to be solved. But in terms of your own personal self-interest, you don't want to talk to police certainly without legal representation, because they're not coming to talk to you to try to help you out, especially if you're a potential target of an investigation.
So let's get back to the morning session here, Donnie, and we'll go quickly through this because Nigel and I talked a little bit about it earlier. What do we know about the phone that Richard Allen had? The phone that he was looking at stocks allegedly on, where is that?
We don't know. We don't know where that phone is. I believe the number was 23 electronic devices were collected from Richard Allen's home 2 years ago, and it was testified to that nothing to do with the girls was found on any of these devices. Nothing that would tie to the murder. Now, apparently, Allen had searched up the crime at some point, like on his devices, as probably most of America has.
Right.
But nothing, the wording was nothing tying to this murder was found.
Okay, question I have is, one thing that's very feasible to do, and this was certainly feasible in 2017, is law enforcement can do what's called a forensic download of a phone. And the state police will do this for you if you can't do it as a local law enforcement agency. You send it to the state police, they'll do it for you. It's a forensic download. It literally downloads everything off that phone. It can even go back and potentially find things that were deleted off the phone. So to take a phone from someone who's a potential suspect and just make notes about what it is or isn't on the phone and then not even preserve the phone, this all raises huge questions in my mind. And listen, I don't want to assume what did or didn't happen, but based on Donnie following the trial, Do you know, did anybody ever do what we call a forensic download of the contents of Richard Allen's phone?
So far, I have not heard that testified to in court.
One more thing on the morning session before we talk about what happened in the afternoon. And we've got action in the afternoon. Walk me through the testimony of the chief and current investigator for the Carroll County Prosecutor's Office, Steve Mullen.
So Mullen, I have a little bit of his testimony here. They really focused in a lot on, he talked about when Allen came back around in the scene in 2022, I believe it was Mullen who talked about the timeline, essentially, of Allen's timeline changed a little bit. Like now he says he was gone before 2 o'clock. But then like a big, where things got really contentious between Mullen and the defense was Mullen using words like, well, I interpreted what he said, his direction of where he was driving that day as this. And the defense is like, well, interpretations are not, statements
That's an opinion.
of facts here.
And typically lay witnesses can't give opinion testimony. Only experts can give opinion testimony.
And
generally speaking,
Baldwin says like you guys are so desperate for Rick Allen to have been going west on this particular road for this theory to work. And that's where a little bit of that happened. Mullen, not a lot of headlines came out of that so far.
Was he the one that was speaking to Richard Allen when Richard Allen allegedly got a little irritated and walked out, or was that somebody else?
Yes, I believe that was Mullen. That's when they had their conversation in 22. He starts getting irritated. Allen leaves the interview for, I guess, a few minutes. He comes back and they finish it up, and Mullen's like, shows him the bridge guy photo, and Allen says, hey, if that came from the girls' phones, that's not me.
And by the way, if you're only in there for a voluntary interview with police, you can end that interview at any time. And that's your constitutional right under the Fifth Amendment. And I've been hired by people or by their family in the middle of interviews, and I'll walk in and I'll say, this interview's over. That's not an indication of guilt. Frankly, it's being smart when you realize suddenly you're getting accusatory questions and say, I was dumb to walk in here in the beginning. I'm done now. That's your absolute constitutional right. And there shouldn't be any inferences drawn from that.
Donnie, we got about a minute left before we got to hit a traffic break here. But in the morning session, the vehicle of Richard Allen was talked about a lot. There was chatter about surveillance and the vehicle. Very briefly, walk me through what that was about.
Yeah, so they are trying to hone in on, okay, you have this security footage from the Hoosier Harvest store that's across from, near the Mears entrance. Do you see Allen's car or something that appears to be Allen's car? And what they get down into is the minutia of how many Ford Focuses, which is one of the cars that Allen was driving, how many are mass produced and how many were in that area. And
the witness said that they could not identify the license plate, but they also could identify very specific things on Richard Allen's vehicle that would identify it to the one in the video.
Yeah. So that they're really getting into a lot of the details of that, and I'm still trying to collect a lot of that information. This stuff will be corrected or updated later on WIBC.com for everyone. But then the afternoon session, that's where things got testy.
All right, so we're going to get into the afternoon session here in just a moment. Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom, Guy Relford, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Eastbound 70 from the west side to downtown, stop traffic. Holt Road to the south split, and that is a delay time of 34 minutes. Now on the northwest side, southbound 465, stop and go 71st to I-65. Northbound lanes dragging from 86 to 865. North side, eastbound 465, stop and go from Meridian over to Allisonville Road. East side, northbound 465 slows from 70 past Penn Pike. Southbound 65, we're stopped from 21st into the West Street exit because that is where we have to peel off because of the closure. You have to exit at West Street because of this bridge maintenance project that's going on for the rest of the month. Traffic sponsored by Unbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of becoming part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
64 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. More on the Delphi trial. The afternoon session with Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom, attorney Guy Relford. We're coming right back.
Hammer and Nigel here. Hello. I use exclusively, only, the very best when it comes to HVAC. I only use American Standard equipment. I had an American Standard air conditioner installed in my house a couple of years ago. It works perfect. Here's Hammer to tell you about one of those awesome independent local American Standard dealers in Central Indy.
All right. Absolute Comfort. Make sure you ask for our friend Chris Wedekin. Chris is an expert in saving you money on utilities. Absolute Comfort can help you with American Standard heat pump options that help you cool in the spring and heat when the temperatures drop this fall, all while saving you money and energy. Absolute Comfort's experts also help to make sure your home is zoned properly, thus ensuring your comfort and, once again, saving you money is taken care of. Contact Absolute Comfort today. AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. American Standard, built to a higher standard. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
Time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-262-1104 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-262-1104. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
At Shane Company, we make finding your perfect engagement ring fun and easy. Because let's be honest, you might feel a little stressed out. We get it. That's why we do all the hard stuff. It's our job to bring you the biggest selection of beautiful diamonds and colorful gemstones, so many amazing settings, and all the customization your heart desires. We've got your style and your price range covered, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. Come in for a warm welcome and leave with your dream ring and an experience you'll never forget. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Hendricks County.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom covering the Delphi trial. Donnie's one of the reporters that has court access. He can also get the notes from the pool reporters. And Guy Relford, defense attorney, here to share his perspective. All right, we just went over the morning session. You told me, Donnie, the afternoon session, we had a little bit more action.
Yeah, so Carroll County Sheriff Tony Liggett took the stand, and that's when things definitely got interesting, because I believe you could say he's probably the most recent, law enforcement figure that's kind of spearheading this whole thing. So he's definitely got a lot of interesting talking points. So the first thing that came up was Allen's gun, and Liggett said that they found Allen's .40 caliber SIG. So help me with the pronunciation. SIG Sauer handgun in his bedroom nightstand, and that it was the same caliber of bullet found between the bodies of Abby and Libby. The bullet was found a little bit away from their bodies. Liggett said that they found another .40 caliber Winchester round in a keepsake box. They found more ammunition, .40 caliber Blazer. They're talking about more of this bullet stuff, right? So then they eventually move on to, they talk again about Allen's car. And, the defense is saying, would you be surprised to learn that Ford Focuses are mass produced? And he's like, no. And then the defense kind of swerves a little bit and says, would you be surprised to learn that Superintendent Doug Carter relieved the FBI of their duties in 2019 from this case?
Now, this is new information. I did not know this.
Liggett said, I did not know that, and I would be surprised at that. And so that's interesting that that's not being communicated with the investigation.
So, Guy, let's back up just a little bit. That's a big deal. But let's just, for argument's sake, say you are the defense attorney for Richard Allen, and they're talking about, we found a gun linked to the casing, all that kind of stuff. What's going through your mind?
Well, a lot of it is, owning a gun's not illegal, right? And owning a particular caliber of gun, and a .40 caliber is very common. It was carried by law enforcement for years and years and years. Many are going back to 9mm, but again, a very, very commonly carried gun and round of ammunition. So that in and of itself means nothing. What's interesting is there's so much confusion about the labeling of the calibers and the rounds and the gun, because, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. We have more important things to talk about, but there's a caliber of the gun, and a traditional .40 caliber gun is called .40 Smith & Wesson, because Smith & Wesson developed that round originally. Different manufacturers make that round. So Winchester can make a round called a .40 Smith & Wesson, even though they're two different companies. And then that .40 Smith & Wesson can be shot in a gun or used in a gun that's completely different, like a Sig Sauer. So all these names are getting thrown around. I think it's confusing people because they think those things have to match up. They don't necessarily.
The gun wasn't used. A gun wasn't used in the crime.
A gun was never used in the crime, but there was just a cartridge found somewhere near the bodies of the girls.
So, Donnie, again, not to bury the lead here, but you had a witness on the stand allude to Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter canceling the use of the FBI in this.
Well, that was the defense said, are you aware of the fact that the Doug Carter relieved the FBI of their duties in 2019? And Liggett said, I was not aware, and that would surprise me. And so that just, we're painting a further picture of the investigation.
Now, we've not heard from the Indiana State Police or Doug Carter about this yet.
But he is going to be called at some point during this trial.
And by the way, lawyers can't testify. So if you ask a question, would it surprise you to know, doesn't necessarily mean that what comes after that is true. Now, typically, you're not going to throw that out there unless you can prove it later on. But a lawyer can throw that out there. It doesn't mean that it actually happened.
Yeah, so again, they start talking about Richard Allen. Do you believe he acted alone? Liggett says, yes, I do. And that he just got lost and fell through the cracks over the years. And so Allen's attorney says, so there's never been any DNA of Richard Allen collected at the crime scene. Liggett says none. And then he's asked, was there any digital evidence linking Allen to the scene? Liggett says no. And so we have found
Guy's head spinning around like Beetlejuice right here.
I got a big question. There's a big difference between we swab for DNA, we search for DNA, we took samples looking for DNA, we just didn't find any, or did they look for DNA at all at the crime scene? Those two things are hugely different and could make a huge difference in this case.
But this is also at least the third or fourth law enforcement officer who has said either none of Richard Allen's DNA found at the crime scene or we are not aware of. And so again, we still have this thing of like, where's where's the other DNA
But see,
here?
the difference is, honey, when I tell my wife, honey, I can't find my socks, she'll first come back and say, well, did you look for your socks? And that's the distinction here. Did they look for DNA? Did they swab? Did they test? Did they take samples and they just couldn't find any? Or did they never even damn look for DNA? That's a huge issue.
So, Donnie, we got about 2 minutes left here. The big headlines from the rest of the afternoon.
Well, then the defense points out, once again, witness Betsy Blair pointing out that she saw a young man, tall, muscular, brown, poofy hair, and says, hey, her description does not match Richard Allen.
And Richard Allen is somebody you have been side by side with in that courtroom, and he is not a tall, muscular man with billowy hair.
Richard Allen is a notably small man. And his hair is very short and has been when he was arrested, and the defense says it's been that way since 1989 when he served in the military. So when Brad Rosie says the description that Betsy Blair gave does not match Richard Allen, Liggett counters with, well, neither does the description given from the three girls who saw Bridge Guy. And Rosie says, right, exactly. And so they have agreed that Bridge Guy, again, Richard Allen does not look like Bridge Guy. And then at this point, actually, Allison is the one who said this before we went live. And this is becoming a constant conversation online as well. Do we even know if Bridge Guy did this or not at this point?
Right. Is Bridge Guy Richard Allen? Did Bridge Guy do it? We're 6 days into this. And Guy, you made this point the other day. This is the state's part of this trial. This is where they're supposed to set the tone, come out, tell the jury that we've got proof that Richard Allen is guilty. We're 6 days into this thing, and there's more doubt now than when this thing started.
I mean, to analogize a football game, they should be up 56-3 at halftime, and we're not at halftime yet, but they're nowhere close to that. They're behind during their own case in chief. That doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of trying to get a conviction.
30 seconds left, Donnie. Big takeaway from today.
So we will say that again throughout. We are now 6 days in. No one has identified Richard Allen as Bridge Guy. Descriptions of Bridge Guy are inconsistent. It has been consistently testified that either no one is aware of Richard Allen's DNA being at the crime scene, or it's just not there. And so again, there are a little bit of inconsistencies with Allen's recounting of when he was on the trails, but there's also inconsistencies with this whole case, the whole foundation for the case.
Guy Relford, 30 seconds. Your closing thoughts for today.
Well, I just keep thinking that the prosecution's going to come out with something that they kind of have been subtle about, or they've been sly about, and they're going to throw it out there that's going to suddenly put everybody's doubts aside and establish that Richard Allen committed this crime. And day after day goes by, and as Donnie does such an incredible job reporting, we haven't seen it yet. And it's all tangential, it's all peripheral, and most of it gets rebutted by the credibility of witnesses or by the shoddy police work or the shoddy prosecution work. It's just not adding up right now.
Guy Relford, you're filling in for Nige tomorrow, so you'll be here. Donnie, if you're not in court, we'll see you here tomorrow at 5:06.
Oh, we'll do it. Absolutely.
Harrison Silcox has the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A shooting in Speedway, mostly sunny, 64 degrees in the heart of downtown. All clear with the radar. 50 is your low tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:32. Crime scene tape and homicide detectives. That's what a few people saw in the neighborhood today. Brian Hedrick reports.
The neighborhood is located in Speedway, just off of West 10th Street along North Norfolk Street, and it seems quiet as you turn into it. There's neighborhood watch signs all over, but early Thursday morning, police were called out because someone heard several gunshots. When police got there, they found a man who had been shot several times through a passenger window. The Marion County Coroner's Office says the victim is 28 years old. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Rain is possible in some parts of the state tomorrow.
There's potential, depending on how strong these thunderstorms do get, for some heavy rain early tomorrow morning, but this should stay within the Lafayette to Kokomo on north area.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says any rain that falls Friday should clear up by the evening. Not expected to get a whole lot. The Menendez brothers may be resentenced in their murder case after a request was made today by the Los Angeles Indianapolis DA. The brothers claim sexual and physical abuse from their father. That's why they killed their parents back in 1989. President Joe Biden plans to apologize on behalf of the federal government for its role in a boarding school system. Here's Fox's Jared Halpern.
For decades, U.S. policy forced children from indigenous communities to leave tribal lands and attend schools intended to assimilate them. President Biden will apologize during a Friday visit to Arizona. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland, the first Native American to lead that department, launched an investigation that found at least 18,000 children were taken from their parents, resulting in 1,000 deaths and 74 grave sites across more than 500 schools. Haaland's grandparents were forced to attend a boarding school. In 1993, President Clinton signed a law apologizing to Native Hawaiians for the overthrow of its monarchy a century earlier. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Giant images of athletes, and now Taylor Swift on buildings in Indianapolis is all the work of Sport Graphics. Company president Marty Hill says their strength is attention to detail.
We have to make sure it's not just, oh, let me take this picture and I'm going to blow it up and stick it on the side of a building. You know, you're looking at how it's going to be seen, what the material is, what it's going against, how the light hits it, what's coming in from the back.
Sport Graphics started working with the Pacers about 20 years ago, and now they partnered with the Indy 500, JW Marriott, and the Colts. And tough news after the first game of the season for the Indiana Pacers. Center James Wiseman tore his left Achilles tendon, reports ESPN this afternoon. The player now looking at some different recovery options. With traffic at 534, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, south side crash, eastbound 465 at the White River, blocking the right lane, stopping traffic to Sam Jones Expressway, slowing us past Washington Street. Eastbound 70 completely loaded, stopped in some places. Sam Jones over to the south split, 31-minute delay. Southbound 65 stopped from MLK to West Street. And that's because of the closure traffic exiting to West right now. That's where you have to go, at least for the rest of the month as they work on the bridges there. Once you get into downtown, the northwest end is stopped all over the place. We have a minor case of gridlock here with Indiana Avenue, West Street, 10th Street. I'll stop. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Thanks, Matt. And here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
It looks like we're mostly dry as we move into Thursday evening. A few passing clouds, temperatures dropping into the upper 40s, and a breeze out of the southeast. We'll keep an eye, however, for some showers, which will return on Friday morning. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Drew Narsutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with Rob Kendall.
Noise pollution.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here, also joining us live in studio. Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show, here to go off the rails. Rob, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks, as always, to our segment sponsor, Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
Let's start out with locally. Here some more attack ads from the Republican committee against Donald Rainwater and Jennifer McCormick, the Libertarian and the Democrat running for governor, against Braun and Beckwith. What does it say overall about the Republicans that they are coming after not only McCormick, but also the Libertarian candidate as well? Can we glean anything from this?
Well, two things. One, the Rainwater story has totally fallen apart. You notice it initially was, I was some guy who was down on my luck. I got divorced. I lost a job. And it was 30 years ago. Well, now, because the evidence certainly supports it, it was over a decade and a half that this took place. Now it's morphed into, it was 15 or 20 years ago, and it wasn't one instance. I mean, the guy, according to documents, when he filed for bankruptcy in 2009, which was 15 years after his divorce, claimed $100,000 in primarily consumer debt.
But Rob, why does anybody care? Like, this is the thing. Like, we've talked about this. You've talked about this. Why is this a big deal? The third place challenger that's way back in this race, Why is this such a big deal?
Okay, yeah, and that's an important question. This is why this matters. And Rainwater actually screwed up and admitted this today on Tony Katz's show. He was on with Tony. This isn't about whether Braun's going to win the election, or these people in the media are saying, oh, it's just proof that it's close because they're going after Rainwater. The reality is Braun actually wants to get something done. Braun wants to clean up a lot of the messes that have been left behind in the state of Indiana with Holcomb. And in order to do that, he's going to have to drive an agenda. And in order to drive an agenda, he can't win with 48 or 47% of the vote, which he still gets to be governor. But if he's going to go in there and he's going to try to get things like property tax reform done, if he's going to get things like universal school choice, you're going to need a strong executive with a mandate. And I think this is those guys showing, hey, we want to get over that 50% threshold. We want to come in there with a clear mandate. And the reality is, and I don't think this is any newsflash to anybody, there are a lot of people who are still pondering voting for Donald Rainwater in protest of what the Republicans have done the past several years.
That's why people care. I think, Hammer, your question is legitimate. It's solid. Like, why do people care? The third place guy running up, the Republican committee that put those ads out sure as hell cares, don't they?
Yeah, there's no doubt that Rainwater is still getting the benefit of, he got all those votes in 2020. There's still people that are mad for a variety of reasons. And Braun talked about this today on our show. Unfortunately, he's paying for the sins of somebody else. Braun's been a pretty conservative senator. He's been a pretty decent senator. He's made some votes I didn't like, but anybody is going to do that. And the reality is he would not shut the state down. He would not force people to wear masks. He would not close businesses, but he's paying for that. And he's trying to talk to these people saying, look, if you want to protest vote, then you can protest vote. But you wouldn't let Donald Rainwater, based on his financial management, run your Little League concession stand. You have no business running the state of Indiana.
What does McCormick have going for her running into this election? Like, what are the positives? What is she looking at in terms of polling and saying, oh, maybe I got a shot here?
Well, she's a likable person until you get to know her. I mean, she comes off as a likable
Well, hold on. That doesn't sound very likable at all.
Well, I mean, a lot of people never get to know the people that they vote for. She's got some Republican apathy. I think that, look, Braun doesn't exactly excite anybody. He's not. And one of the things, and we talked about this during the primary, is Braun didn't have to lay out an agenda. He had the Trump endorsement, right? Hey, I'm endorsed by Donald Trump, and I'm going to win 40% of the vote. And we talked about that during, man, my least favorite part of every show is when I have to tell people how right I was.
It pains you, yes.
And
awful.
But we are seeing that play out in real time now, which is we said, look, if you don't lay out an agenda, then you're not going to have people enthusiastic about you when you get into the general election, when you have a ball game on your hands. And you're seeing some of that now, where I think Braun's going to be an okay governor. I think he will clean up and reform a lot of state government, which is going to save the state a lot of money. I think he will push universal school choice across the finish line. And I think he will try his best. Now, whether he can overcome the General Assembly or not, I don't know. The property tax reform. But he's just not, and you guys know it. You guys have had him on longer than I have. He's just not. He's not Mr. Excitement, and I think that sometimes it makes it harder to motivate people to vote for you.
But in terms of being a good governor, I think timing is important here, right? Because we talk about this in sports all the time. You don't want to be the guy that follows Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the next Alabama coach after Nick Saban. I mean, look what's happening to this guy now. But if you're coming after somebody that's been a turd, if you just do the bare minimum, you're going to look like the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
And if Braun and Beckwith can get in there and either accomplish property taxes or something to help the people, I feel like that's a win.
If you're on the fence, here's the reality of what the landscape you're facing. And I talked with you guys about this. I'm 40 years old now. I'm not nearly the idealist at 40 that I was at 30, and certainly not that I was at 20. And as a person who sees the reality in front of me, I want the property taxes fixed. I want people to save $500 to $1,000 a year. Braun's plan does that. Is Braun my favorite candidate in the world? No. Am I going to lie to you and say I voted for Braun in the primary? No, I didn't. But the reality is Mike Braun has the best property tax plan. He has the most realistic chance because he's of the party that will have supermajorities of getting it passed. And so you can make two choices. You can continue to protest vote and give that vote to Rainwater. Well, he has no chance of being governor. None. Absolutely not. He's going to do about half as well as he did in 2020. Or you can say, let's give the guy the firepower to try to get something done. The only way you're going to get property tax reform done, because the legislature is going to go kicking and screaming on this because of the pressure from local governments, is to give Mike Braun a clear mandate. That's going to be up to you to decide. If you don't want property tax reform done, don't vote for the guy. I want my property taxes fixed.
And last question, we'll move on. Are Republicans, are you maybe putting the cart before the horse on the outcome of this Indiana gubernatorial election? Are Republicans, are they counting their chickens before the eggs before they're hatched?
Well, every year for 7 years, I'm like, man, this is the year the libertarians, people are fed up with the Republicans. And then the libertarians get like 4% of the vote, right? I mean, look, the reality is there have been two public polls, nonpartisan polls that have come out. The one Abdul did and Emerson. He was between 8 and 11 points ahead. I would guess, since nobody shows their internals one way or another, it means they're pretty much lining up with that.
Because the Democrats in Indiana were retweeting Abdul doing a victory lap.
Yeah, we call it the Puff the Magic Dragon poll because Abdul admits he hasn't seen the poll. He doesn't know who did the poll. He doesn't know who they did the poll for.
He just doesn't like the people that are Republicans.
But he's going to tell you there's a poll out there that shows it's super close. If the Democrats had a poll that was close, they would be running ad after ad after ad showing that they don't have it. It doesn't exist.
And this debate tonight, this do anything for you?
I told Braun on the show, and I told him off air, you got to bring the heat tonight. You got to come in there and show some passion. You got to show some fire. You got to show people you're fired up about fixing these issues, because I think that's what people are looking for.
And our pal, Dr. Laura Wilson, is the moderator, and we've asked her on this program. She joined us a couple weeks ago. When you moderate a debate, are you going to be fact check lady? And she was like, no, that is not my job. Let him go at it.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Yeah, she's good.
It's their job to fact check. It's your opponent's job to fact check. It's not David Muir's job to fact check.
Did anybody tell David Muir?
like if someone were to stand on a stage and Nigel were to say, I'm skinny and fit, I would be like,
you jerk. What is that supposed to mean?
Going off the rails with Rob Kendall. Delphi trial, it's the biggest story in Indiana right now. I think it's bigger than what's going on Election Day at a local level, at least. Man, the state's time to shine is right now. They're the ones presenting all of the information that it's supposed to be so damning for Richard Allen. But just based off of the information that reporters like Donnie Burgess are giving us and the pool reporters that are all sharing notes, it sounds like it's been a little bit of a mess for the state of Indiana.
This is an embarrassment. I mean, you guys have been on this case for 7 years. I mean, you guys have followed it more closely than I have. But you look at that evidence that's been presented. There is none. There's nothing they've shown so far that a person of any sort of intelligence would not have reasonable doubt when it comes to whether to convict this guy or not. I mean, they can't even agree. The witnesses can't even get their story straight. This is an embarrassment if this is all they have. And, we were talking about this off air. If they had something else, wouldn't you have said that in your opening statement? Wouldn't you have come out with, bringing the heat, saying, look, we have eyewitnesses that put him there. We have the DNA that puts him there. We
you
have
set the tone for the jury.
They've got nothing. They've got nothing. And it's the equivalent of watching an NFL game with the Chiefs, because the refs are playing for the prosecution in terms of the judge has every ruling almost has gone in their favor. This is an embarrassment. I'm sitting there right now as an outside observer going, he may not be an innocent man, but he's certainly not guilty of beyond a reasonable doubt man sitting right there.
And that's the key, right? And Guy Relford brings this up all the time when he joins us. It's not that you have to find Richard Allen completely innocent and he's a saint and he was busy going to church when all this went on. You just have to find reasonable doubt. And right now, I think it's fair to say, just based on the early portion of this trial, which is going to be very long, but right now it seems like there is reasonable doubt.
And the description of bridge guy, I mean, Richard Allen is 5'4". I'm 5'8". We all know I'm a short guy, right? You guys point it out all the time. Thank you very much.
Which is why you've got such a hard handshake and you're so loud. And
medium T-shirts.
Right.
I mean, think of it. So I'm 5'8". He's 5'4", which means he's markedly shorter than me. He's basically the equivalent of a slightly taller Danny DeVito. If Danny DeVito were bridge guy, wouldn't we point that out? None of these people are describing this very short, slender guy. He doesn't sound like remotely close to being bridge guy.
Come back for one more segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going off the rails with Rob Kendall. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
If you are a single or widowed woman, well, the statistics aren't very pretty. You run into a far greater risk of running out of money in retirement than any man or married couple. Hello there. It's Terry Stacy, and the last thing you want to be is 80 years old, full of life, and flat broke. Discover the strategies that could ensure you never run out of money in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy, right here in Indy. I know Bill, and I trust Bill, and I'm so thankful that he was able to help my mom, too. I don't put my name on any random Joe, but I'm here to say you can count on Bill Demery. Call Bill at 317-349-5212. That's 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212. Call Bill right now.
Hey folks, Hunter Smith here. I spent every fall from my childhood until my days in the NFL on the gridiron. Football gave me the chance to attend Notre Dame and go on to win a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts. Football also taught me life lessons about hard work and toughness. This fall looks a little different. I'm not on the field. I'm running to represent you at the State House, and I'm taking hits from opponents. Hits meant to mislead you about my values and priorities. I'm tough enough to take it, and I trust voters are smart enough to know the truth.
Hunter Smith is a husband, father, and local business owner of Wonder Tree Farm. At the State House, Hunter will work to lower property taxes without impacting priorities like public safety. The Indiana State Police Alliance and Fraternal Order of Police endorse Hunter Smith, and Hunter will always empower parents to choose the best education for their kids. Vote Hunter Smith for state representative.
Paid for by Hunter Smith for Indiana.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens in Westfield. Starting today, it's 30% or more off all nursery items in stock. You heard me right. Container trees, shrubs, and balled and burlapped items are at least 30% off. Visit the Garden Center for even deeper discounts. Looking to decorate for Halloween and Thanksgiving? Sundown Gardens can help you there, too. Save 30% off interior fall decor inside Miss Mary's gift shop. Enjoy fall and save at Sundown Gardens, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with supporting sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
Matt Baer, what's up?
Southside crash eastbound 465 at the White River. That is stopping traffic back to Washington Street, US 40. Also, crash on that exit ramp at southbound 465 to Washington, US 40. The right side of the ramp is blocked. The ramp is open. Looking at eastbound 70, stop traffic from Sam Jones Expressway to the south split. That's a 26-minute delay. Southbound 65 stops from MLK to the West Street exit. And that's because of the closure that's going on the rest of the month. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
64 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at 93 WIBC. Back with Rob Kendall of the Kendall and Casey Show, going off the rails with us. Kendall and Casey, 9 to noon here at 93 WIBC. You had a pretty good breakdown today of swing states. Because I say this all the time, I don't give a rat's rear end about national polling because that's not how we pick the president. States pick the president. I want to see state polling, not national polling. So you went state by state today on your show, talking about the swing states, the Electoral College. What did you come up with?
Well, the reality is the blue wall states are all that matter. I mean, you can talk about Nevada all you want. You can talk about Arizona. There is no path to the presidency for Trump if he doesn't win one of the blue wall states.
Special thanks to
Garage Doors of Indianapolis. You guys are the best. Thank you.
He's off the rails. That's Rob Kendall. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience. So I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick, she's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
Mark Dietl, as always, the only real estate expert I trust with the sale of my home, and I'd also trust him to find me a brand new home as well. Here's what Mark from Danville had to say. I finished building my new perfect home out of state and needed out of my old place quickly. Plus, to cover the cost of the new home, I needed a big price. Mark Dietl's team was the answer. My home sold in 3 days on the market over my asking price.
Mark Dietl is the best, and what separates him from the competition is the guarantee. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutual